You got that voice recorder on?
Oh, 3, 2, 1, and it's starting now. Oh, voice recording.
Hey everybody, welcome to True Glue Talks, and I wish we could be more in person together. I'm interviewing Tanner. Tanner has, and he'll explain, driven across Canada. So I asked the person I'm with, the person I'm sharing a hotel room with, from California, like, hey, you know what's going on in Canada, right? She's like, so what are they actually protesting for? Like, okay, hold up. In short, what I believe, and everyone has their own rights to believe what they want. People who have felt offended or will be offended, we love you. I don't think you're going to hear from two guys that don't mean to hurt you more than I might hurt you out of my own love, what I think is love, from my maybe toxic masculine upbringing. But what I believe, well, Tanner, why did you drive across the province?
Why did I drive across the country?
The country. Canada.
I drove across the country, well, to fight for freedoms, to participate in this movement, to just be a part of a worldwide revolution, which I didn't realize was going to be a worldwide revolution. I didn't even realize it was a revolution until I was in it, which is the crazy thing. I'm like, hey, they're going to take trucks out to Ottawa from the west part of Canada, and they're rolling together in a convoy like out of a Smokey and the Bandit movie or something, so that's cool. And they believe in the same things I believe in, fighting for freedoms, acknowledging the government overreach, and the 2 weeks to flatten the curve into year 3 of decimating lives and livelihoods. So there's good reasons to be here, but I'm like, cool, these guys are rolling. And there's also an east leg of the convoy coming from New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, PEI, all these places. And I'm like, this is really cool. This is going to be something big. I don't know. I didn't know at the time it was going to be a revolution, but I knew, or the start of a revolution, but I knew it was going to be something huge. So that morning I go to the gym, and it was like, I knew the convoy was leaving Alberta that morning at 6 a.m. from the truck stop. And I knew, I'm like, well, I usually go to the gym around 6 to 7. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym at 5 today, get my workout out. And I'm going to decide over a workout, because that's usually my flow state. That's where I feel good. That's where I can make reasonable decisions. So doing this workout, doing this cardio, I'm like an hour into cardio and chill. And I'm listening to just trucker tracks, all these trucker tracks. And I'm like, oh yeah, like 6 days on the road and like eastbound and down. And I started getting inspired, and I started just visualizing the drone shots of this thing, and visualizing all these rolling shots of the semis and the freedom flags and stuff like that. I had all these ideas, and I decided in the moment right there, I'm like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go see I'm going to join the convoy. I'm going to go pack all my stuff, and I'll probably be able to catch up with them by the Saskatchewan border or so. So, because I knew they were already going to be rolling out ahead of me. And I had a buddy I was going to meet in Manitoba who was going to drive me all the way to Ottawa and be the driver while I filmed out the window and stuff. So, and I had a lot of people who were telling me, like, dude, you have to go do coverage of this. You're the only one who's going to do like the drone shots and like do the crazy music stuff. And I'm like, there probably isn't going to be many people doing that. I should hope there would be, but it turned out there wasn't. But anyways, I go home after the gym making that decision. I told Whitney what I wanted to do. She supports me as always, and she's just like, go for it, buddy. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I looked at Bella and I looked at the cat, and I'm like, you guys okay with this? And they're like, please don't leave us. And I'm like, fuck. So anyways, made the decision to leave, packed my computer. I'm on this computer that I'm on right now, which is a 27-inch Mac computer. I put it in the box, and my single cab, my pickup truck, all my camera gear, my drone, my JBL speaker, you name it. I brought everything I need to vibe on the road. My 6-string guitar, stuffed it all into the single cab of my Chevy, and I left. And I just couldn't imagine. I was driving. I'm like, what am I going to see? What is this going to be? Like, what? Like, I'm like, I know there's going to be people in the ditches supporting us, but, you know, like maybe here and there. I'm like, but I know I'm joining up with a convoy, which is going to be really insane, like really cool, something I couldn't imagine in my life ever being a part of. And then I'd taken all the back roads out up to the Trans-Canada, because I live down in Foothills County, so I didn't join up with number 1 highway until about a little town called Pisano in Alberta. And I joined up with the number 1 highway, and then I drove still for hours. I had this anticipation, like, what is this? Is this convoy really as large as they're saying it is? Like, how big is this thing going to be? And I keep trying to catch up with it. And then you know, it took me forever, and all of a sudden I go through Medicine Hat, and I realized I was right behind this convoy, because when I got to Medicine Hat, there were people lined on the bridges and in the ditches, and they all came out in -30, and they made signs out of just the craziest stuff. People just literally were so last minute, they had pieces of OSB or plywood with freedom spray painted on it, or the Canadian flags. They had like F Trudeau and all these things, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, people are they really into this? Like, they really understand what this is, or they really want to show their support in -30, in a snowstorm, in Alberta, an icy blowing snowstorm. And then, yeah, I get out in the outskirts of Medicine Hat, and I start to realize guys are bringing picker trucks out. Picker trucks are these big semis with cranes on the back, these big booms that come out, and they'd drive these booms, they'd back the trucks up to each other and put the cranes up in the air, and they'd use each end of the crane to hoist up big, gigantic Canadian flags. And, like, it was just, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, these people are really committed to this, and they really just, and every time I drove past them, I wasn't even in the convoy yet, and I was picking up energy of just, and feelings and emotions. I was going through so many different things, and I kept thinking the whole time, I'm like, you know, with this, I'm gaining energy from this. I feel every time I see these people and the kids in the ditch without their masks on, and I see people smiling at each other and dancing and shaking their flags, they all have stereos set up on the road and stuff. I'm like, I haven't seen energy like this since I've been on Vancouver Island. Like, I haven't seen that, you know, when I went to Fairy Creek for a couple days and seen the people there. I seen that very same kind of connection throughout these people, just all just there to support a cause, and all there to, like, lift each other up and dance and have fun and smile and show each other and give each other their energy. So, yeah, I started to experience that, and then eventually I caught up with the convoy, and I started getting the drone shots of them on the ring road and Regina and stuff, and then I went to my hotel room that night in Brandon, Manitoba, made it all the way to Brandon, unloaded my computer and all my shit, carted it up to the hotel room at 2 in the morning or 1:30 in the morning, edited till 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, something like that. And then I got up in the morning, I slept for 2 hours, got up, hopped in with my buddy Keith, we met up with the convoy, and I repeated this process for 5 days or 6 days in a row, where I would just film all day, get the drone up, follow the convoy, get ahead of the convoy, get behind the convoy, film it to show what it was, because the government and the state-sponsored media, like CBC, was saying that this thing was a couple hundreds, or like 50 semis, 12 trucks are coming to Ottawa, someone said, I seen. 100 trucks. I'm like, and I was paying attention to Twitter. God forbid we go on Twitter. That page is trash. But I went on there just to see what some of these people were saying who were, you know, really against this thing. And there were some aggressive opinions, calling us racist already and calling us all these crazy names. All this name calling, it's making up these names out of thin air.
Mic check. Mic check. You got your phones running, right? Because this is great. Good. Beauty. Thank you. Because it comes through Zoom, a little bit sketchy, and it's going to be flawless on that side. Now, sorry to interrupt y'all. What did life look like before? And, like, what do you think made people change or want to do a sudden change? So the guys with booms, they're not working. They're putting their boom, they're hanging a flag. They're not making money on that. You stop doing whatever life you were living. All the truckers stopped doing what they're doing. What was life before? What made people want to change or do the movement? And what made you want to join them?
So here's the cool thing. Everyone that was in the streets of Ottawa and everyone that's still here now has that same drive and that same energy. This is where it goes to an interesting place here, this conversation. I'm glad you asked this question, because everybody who joined the convoy and got off their ass and stopped everything they were doing, everyone who joined this convoy and participated in it and left everything behind, their families, their jobs, their whole livelihoods, and put everything on the line to bring these trucks out here, they were all very motivated people. And they're the same people that have been talking for the last 2 years and 3 years. They've been talking, man, the government, they're doing corrupt things. They were being called conspiracy theorists, and they've been going for years. They've been like, man, this is a thing. And then they would always get told, and I've been told this by my friends, hey, you know what? If you're not going to stand up and do anything about it, why do we have to talk about it? I'm like, fair enough. You know, I would almost fall into that thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about it anymore, because it feels like it's hopeless. But it just so happens all the people who talked about it, who were really like guys like me and guys like the people I've been meeting that just kept talking about it and wanting to try to find a way around it, we did want to take action. but there just wasn't a platform for us to take action. We didn't know until the convoy started. And then all the people who talked the most shit, they took action. And they all joined. And I met all sorts of different people down there on the front lines of this thing and throughout the streets of Ottawa and all the encampments that were built. And everybody I met, they all had some ADHD shit going on. They had some, like, just like, you can tell the people with ADHD, they got all these things going on. They're all over the place. But they're like, when they can focus into something, they can just do so good at it. And that's what I seen. I just seen these people that are so talented. People who have started transport companies, people who work for transport companies, people who just drove out in a car like me, who are just some random guy from Alberta, who, I'm an e-commerce seller. I'm not a trucker, and I just drove out in a car to film it all. And to be a part of the energy because I knew it was going to be something special. So, yeah, everybody here, extremely motivated people. The people who weren't as motivated were gone within the first week. They came out to be a part of the energy and leave. But the ones who remained, the 500 trucks who remained till the end, till they brought in the extreme enforcement, those people were on it was a religion to them. Hold the line. Hold that line. And they were like dedicated. They're like, they got customers calling them being like, hey, like, we need our shit transported. They're like, nah, man, I'm fighting tyranny right now in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not coming home. I'm not coming back to Alberta.
What made those guys start? Like, what made I think truckers talk on the radio, a Niner 75. Hey, 75, how the hell you doing, you son of a bitch? You
That's
get that new
10-4,
engine?
good buddy.
You get that fucking engine in there, buddy? Oh,
bag it up, Terry.
Oh, I'll be seeing you down in Manitoba at that strip joint, right? I don't know if they dock like that, but how I imagine that these guys are just in trucks, and like you're asking these people to get maybe a third booster in Canada, and they would just talk and be like, someone cooked up a greasy good idea, just like, hey, we just like, I don't even think people know where their fucking food comes from. If we stop moving stuff, this is a big deal. And, well, it's a big deal to us, and we're the people who do it. So why don't we try this all together? 9er, 7, 5er.
10-4. And that's what started it, was the cross-border mandates. What it turned out to be in the end, though, and what it's become and what it is now, is it's a straight-up freedom movement, freedom festival, freedom, like, just the freedom to choose, freedom over the choice of what to put in your own body, is what it turned into. And everyone joined in on it. The truckers gave us a platform, and their goals were pretty clear from the beginning, whether or not some of these Ottawa officials or these parliamentary officials want to admit it. It was very clear. It started with cross-border mandates when they said, hey, you can't go across the border without you have to get vaccinated. And these guys are like, I don't want to. They're like, well, you have to if you want to cross the border. But it's like, well, these guys live a very remote life. They live in a pickup truck. All they do is back up to a bay. Someone loads them. They sign a document. It's usually electronically signed now, by the way. And then they pull the trailer out. They bring it across the border and drop it in another place. There's hardly any interaction with anybody. So it's the job that least should require, no matter what your beliefs are, it's the job that should least require a vaccinated person. It just makes no sense. So it started there. That's what started them being like, okay, there's something wrong here. But they also acknowledged that Trudeau wanted to pass laws within this pandemic bill to prevent them from going interprovincially eventually. So it was going to start with the border, and it did start with the border, but there was talks of them doing it interprovincially. So these same truckers who now cannot go across the border will also not be able to leave their own province with a semi without being vaccinated. So that was another like, whoa, dude, like, this is crazy. Like, you guys literally went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve to this shit, and you're not fooling us. You're not fooling us. It's proven throughout time. It's proven throughout history. Every time you give a government that kind of power, they never want to give it back. Every time they take away some of your rights, they never want to give it back. And people want to say, oh, there's no rights being taken. You have a choice. You have a choice to get it or lose your job. That's not a choice. That's forced vaccination. That's, and they say, oh, you can get a job somewhere else, but no one else is going to hire you. No, because pretty much everyone's doing it. And here's the thing, like, if you have to show anybody that you have 2 or 3 shots to be able to gain access into a restaurant, to be able to get on a bus, a plane, or a train, and you got to show them a QR code, and you got to wear a mask and hide your face, that you call that freedom, I'm sorry, but I will never agree with you. And you know, they say we're doing it for the betterment of others. But the science now proves that those measures they were taking, no matter what you believe, and I'll try to play devil's advocate here, but those measures that they were trying to take, that they maybe really did think were helping us and protecting people at the time when the science wasn't clear and the long-term data. But now we know that long-term data, and now we know it's clear. So it's like, can we get rid of these mandates? Because you're scaring us with your tyrannical bullshit. And you're pulling tactics where you're dividing Canadians by saying they're lesser than other ones because of their choice of a medical procedure. So all that stuff made this movement happen. And this movement's been planned for quite some time, but people didn't really start getting on it to the last few months when it started to get very, very obvious that these guys were digging their heels in and they're trying to keep these powers. Think about it. Think about these politicians. Never before in a democratic society have you seen politicians have the power over people to tell them to stay at home at Christmas time, to not go out, to report their neighbors, to rat on their neighbors if they have more than 5 people. And they've never had powers to tell people, hey, you can't cross the border. Hey, you can't go here. Hey, you can't go. They've never had those kinds of powers before. So now that this thing's coming to an end, and this, you know, we got this Omicron thing and this all fading out and the hospital numbers are going down, now they're just like, they're digging their heels and they're like, I don't want to let go of this. I've never had anything like this before. You know, these people are the type of people, and anyone who trusts them, you have to realize these politicians who push these bills, these laws, these people sold their soul for a paycheck when they were very young. And they're still paying that debt, and they'll pay that debt the rest of their life. But that's where we're at. We're facing people that have sold their inner child. They've sold their soul to just be a part of a greedy, evil system. I don't know. That's my take on it anyways.
Through the whole friggin' experience, you have been served and taught firsthand, going and being with people, and through again, following you, which I've been grateful for. I'm thankful we were friends before, and I'm always trying to check myself and be like, okay, I have to hear Tanner and make sure that I take even his words, which I enjoy, to process them and be like, do I actually think that's right all the way through? What do I want to take from this? And in this moment, like, it's really hard and way above my level to understand what these secret bastards are doing. So, like, I believe not on some of the lower levels, but sometimes on the lower levels, we got badass, like, provincial government people. In the BC area, we voted someone in who said he would stop old growth logging to then give old growth logging permits. So there's like one just small, like, pretty stupid, why we gotta lie, why do we gotta start that? And then I like to think, and I'm starting to run out, my hope's starting to run out on, at the start of this, we didn't know what was going on, and we were worried, and it's not a bad idea to give it 2 weeks, or like maybe a month. Like, if the hospitals were full, because I do have nurse friends, and they say, man, like, fuck you for thinking this is fake. Like,
Same.
But at a certain point, it goes on, and I believe viruses spread faster than what's been held on. And, like, as we over-examine things, we're kind of babying the world, or babying adults, but enforcing it through fear. The government seems to be maybe enforcing it through fear, which is hurting people verbally or physically. I like to believe at the start, and this is my side, to be like, okay, they're not totally fully bastards, and the people who are on the side, like, thinking, yo, you guys are, how the hell could this be a movement like a it's definitely not a racial movement. No way.
It's one of the most inclusive protests and movements that I've ever seen in my life. Most inclusive.
That there's a stereotype in Canada that truckers are brown-skinned or Muslim or Indian, or one of the countries, not one, but somewhere around there, the majority are. And therefore, the leading starters of this movement would actually be peoples from other nations, and it would be very rare. How could How could it be like whatever? They could be racist and be trying to take over and like make their own freedom to then try to take over Canada in some other way, starve us out, maybe. But all the white folks and people who, fuck, dude, no, I'm not even gonna divide. Not even gonna divide the whites or.
Well, that's what they want us to do. They want us to now talk about these things where, like before, it wasn't about race, but they want to make it about race because they want to create division, and this is why Jagmeet Singh and Trudeau came out and said, "Oh no, these guys are racist. They support Nazi imagery and they support this and all this stuff." But it's like everyone that I seen in the streets, I seen all different skin colors, nationalities. I seen it all, and we were all hugging in the streets and crying, like, and they were calling us racist, and it was just like, what in the hell is going on? You know, divisive tactics.
So many angles. What about like maybe there was like Hitler and Himmler, and in some of my favorite cartoons like Isle of Dogs, the true evil was like one layer down, and apparently the photographer that took the photo of the Nazi flag and followed the Nazi flag guy around was Justin Trudeau's personal photographer or like personal media photographer. And these people could be even pushing, because they're the evil ones, Justin Trudeau, just like so many of us in social media people, we need to be really aware of this. Like when you look up cats, you're going to get cats. When you look up bad news, it's going to show you more bad news. And we get this vortex that they show us, which is actually
divides
creating
us
divide.
each way.
Friggin' Trudeau, he is not immune to this. He could just have served like from his guy he trusted. And he just has so much incentive, and he's like, well, I'm going to get some shots of this. It's going to make money. And he's like, hey, Trudeau, look at this. And Trudeau's like, holy shit, my country. Like, I feel so strongly. This is all figurative. I want to be open. I'm not going to fucking take sides. I'm going to try to think on the other side every single time and try to fucking pull the magnets, like negative or positive, pull them together, even this motherfucker out. And imagine you're Prime Minister of Canada, and you're like, no, the fucking majority of German Nazis are here. They're taking over. They're right outside. Like, I've already run away into America. Like, apparently, or I don't know where he ran away to, but
he ran away to a few different
then
places.
He's like, we need to fucking take action. Like, how was he ever on those streets actually? And thank you so much for. I mean, you're just doing what you want to do, and I'm super thankful for it because I got to follow you. I'm in Mexico. I go through some feelings of like wishing I could be with you, or wishing I could be even just with anyone to, bring some. If the positivity is getting too high, bring it back down to some more neutral, or the negativity, like try to balance it out, even with my own father, and like to see your perspective. And just see it through my own eyes, walking around, seeing what I believe is a majority, chilling, loving, filling up the streets with something new to make a scene which doesn't overly hurt too many people. Let's try to be tolerant to some people who might not have been able to, like, maybe drive to work. Or, there's going to be a handful of stories, but
I can explain a lot of those stories too to your viewers who may not agree with the Freedom Convoy, may not agree with what's going on here. I can describe a lot of those ones and the truths behind them. I've paid attention to both sides. I've been in the streets. I've lived amongst it. All I did for every single day, at a minimum of 2 to 5 hours a day, was walk around live streaming. And if I wasn't live streaming, I was in the cab of a truck, or I was watching from my hotel room up on the 11th floor or something, or I was somewhere doing something, helping someone with a truck or whatever, right? So I seen a lot of things that went on, and a big misconception is when the media says it was the Siege of Ottawa and we locked the city down. This is the most beautiful and coolest part about this movement, that it was so well thought out. We had every lane open for emergency vehicles and for politicians to get into the House of Commons. And the funny thing is, we're parked right in front of the Center Block, East Block, West Block, the Supreme Court. We were parked in front of the Senate building. We were parked in front of all the biggest buildings downtown Ottawa, where they pass all these laws and they debate. So we made sure the politicians could work. So when the politicians, when Trudeau said they're trying to overthrow democracy, these are insurrectionists. This is a violent uprising. That's insurrection, means a violent uprising against government. First of all, we had bouncy castles in the streets. We were partying, dancing, loving, hugging. I've never seen so many dudes hug outside of our hippie community in BC. And I've never seen so many truckers and like grassroots, like rednecks and like oil field workers all hug each other, you know, and build fortresses and build soup kitchens and feed the homeless and all that stuff. But the thing is, it was not an insurrection. That is such a lie. It was definitely an uprising against government to turn the wheels of democracy. But the fact that Trudeau was using those divisive tactics to say, oh, they're trying to overthrow democracy. No. We left the roads open so the politicians could get into the House of Commons and they could work and they could make our democracy work and they could work for us, which this Liberal government has not been doing. It's the Liberal government's been working, is making us work for them, which is not how a democracy works. It's not how our country is supposed to be run. So we made sure those roads were open. Emergency roads were open. As a matter of fact, I had a rental car and I was staying at a hotel. I stayed at 4 different hotels in the downtown core, ranging from the west end of Ottawa to the east end of Ottawa. And I was able to get everywhere every day, as long as I didn't have to drive down Wellington, because Wellington was reserved for the lanes open on Wellington were reserved for emergency vehicles. But every other side street, 1 block over, all the parallel streets, you had Queens and Sparks and all these streets. Then you had Kent Street going this way, you know, typical grid system. All those streets were basically open, except for the ones occupied by trucks. But there was routes around them. The trucks left lanes open so the city could still flow. Now, it was a little more inconvenient because you might have to circle around 5 blocks to come back around, but you could get around the city. So that, 100%. Watch my live streams, Tireroasters Garage, I debunked that shit right there. That is debunked. It was not a siege. The only siege was when Trudeau invoked the Emergency Act and he brought in police forces from across this country. He brought in Vancouver. He brought in Yorkville, like Toronto. He had the Ottawa police were here. We had the OPP. We had the RCMP. We had Quebec riot police. Some people think they're UN. I don't want to talk on that. I don't know. But either way, thing is, we had the forces that were here. They locked down the city. They locked down all the entrances. You literally couldn't even go. As a resident of Ottawa, you literally couldn't even go to your apartment downtown if you went outside of the red zone and had to come back in. And even if you came back within the red zone, there's so many checkpoints on every street that they harassed you. You had to either have a power bill with you or you had to have a hotel room card. You had to have something proving either your residence or your temporary stay. They almost arrested me. This is how powerful this Emergency Act is. They almost arrested me just for being down there. And they said, why are you here? I said, I'm an independent journalist. They said, where's your proof? Where's your card? I said, there's no card for it. I said, I'm some random YouTuber. And they said, well, we're going to have proof what hotel you're staying in then. I told them the hotel. They call the hotel. They literally call the hotel. The guy says, no, there's no Tannereau crane here. And I'm like, no. And they're like, hey, you got to get in the car. I said, no, I'm literally there. Let me call them. So I call. I finally confirmed it. They were just about to let me go. They said, oh, your buddy with you. Is he? He's like, oh, no, I'm staying down the road. They're like, oh, he's not with you. Okay, then we have to take him with us. Because he can't be with you if you're... I'm like, what? I'm like, no, he's my... So I made up a lie. I said, he's my right-hand camera guy. He films for me. They're like, oh, okay, he can go with you. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, and then everyone kept telling me in the moment, this is how fast misinformation spreads. Everyone down there, I said, dude, we're living amongst the Emergency Act right now, which is the predecessor to the War Measures Act that Justin Trudeau's dad, Pierre Trudeau, implemented during the FLQ crisis when a couple politicians were murdered. And before that, it was only implemented 2 times. It was implemented during World War I and World War II to deal with the migration and the internment of Japanese or something like that. Anyways, it's never been invoked for bouncy castles. And the thing is, it was invoked, and I told everyone, I'm like, this is serious. And people are like, oh, no, he just talked about it. It will get passed in Senate on Monday, or it will get passed through debate in the House of Commons, then it has to go through Senate. I'm like, no. The way it works is he invokes it at his choice. He has the power to trigger it right now. It's in power for 7 days. If he wants to get the full 30-day approval, it first has to go through the House of Commons. He has to have one party side with him in a majority vote, and then it has to go to Senate, and the senators have to vote it in. I said, but those powers are very much in play. And I said, how do you think they're stopping people on the streets and throwing them into the ground, face first into the ground, and arresting them like they're Nazis? How do you think they're doing that? They can't do that under regular powers, under their jurisdiction. They need federal enforcement. And that's how that all went down. So we witnessed the Siege of Ottawa, all right, but it was not because of the truckers. It was because of the police going around and presenting police brutality. And another thing I seen Global News, CTV, CBC report on is that there wasn't a single gun drawn on any Canadian, and these police handled themselves very well. There's tons of video evidence out there showing a cop beating a guy with the butt end of a tear gas canister gun. He's banging him with it, and then they shoot Alexa Lavoie. She's a Rebel News reporter for Rebel News. They shot her point blank in the leg with it. Right in the leg. Dude, they sprayed pepper spray in my eyes. I watched them bash a guy in the face with one of their batons. I watched them fire rubber bullets at people. Dude, they were beating the shit out of people. And the propaganda spinning machine, who, if you do your research, you'll see is there's lots of paper trails that shows you Trudeau, the Liberal government, has paid them out. They have been paid out. They're state-sponsored media, just like China. They're propaganda spinning machines. And of course, when they came after us, of course they went into maximum overdrive with spinning the propaganda. So these things you hear, like the Ottawa residents getting harassed, we can touch on that as well. The only Ottawa resident, first of all, no truckers harassed any residents. Now, the other hundreds of thousands of people who came in for this movement may have had more aggressive and more extremist views. They did not represent our movement, but they hijacked our movement at certain points. And now people can say, oh, you gave a platform for that, though. It's like, well, then we can argue that the Prime Minister gave a platform for division and Hitler-esque style tactics to divide the people. But anyways, the thing is, the people who got harassed, from what I seen, were the people who came down and walked up to truckers and said, fuck you, you racist Nazi-supporting pieces of shit. Your white supremacist movement, get out of our city. Then the truckers would, they'd get riled up, and I wouldn't have responded, but a lot of these guys were like, fuck you, go back up in your apartment, you this and you that, and all this language was exchanged. So, of course, now these people go and report to whoever, oh, we're getting harassed. They'll call the police. Now there's these police reports. But the thing is, I seen it firsthand. I seen the people coming down and harassing the truckers. I seen it. I have a live stream up just from yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday, February 26th, 2022. Yesterday, I had a live stream up at the protest. Lots of people waving to us on the streets. We were on foot. The trucks are all gone. We're all on foot now. We're all on foot. The illegal blockades are over. We're on foot. Still, we have people coming up to us, and I have live streams showing it. They coming up and swearing at us, telling us to go home, calling us losers, calling us names. They don't want us to legally and quietly, peacefully protest. They think it shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't be allowed to have our opinion. That's how far gone some of these people are. So we walked up to a guy who was swearing at us, calling us names. We walked up to him. We said, we love you. We love you. We love you. Hey, man, tell us your opinion. We love you. I'm like, why are you calling us names? I had my camera. I'm like, why are you calling us names? Why are you being so extreme? Why are you being so crazy? Like, you're doing what you say we're doing. You're the one inciting the violence and the anger. And he starts going off. And telling us and swearing at us and, and all this shit. And like I said, 3 of us went up to the window to talk to him. And I guarantee you, this guy later went and called the cops and said, hey, these protesters harassed me. They walked up to my car. That's what's going on here, That's what I've seen many times. People just jumping on these little things. For example, I don't know, did you hear about the Terry Fox Memorial?
Nope. Bring it on.
Okay, so Terry Fox Memorial, day one we were here, Saturday, January 29th. We were first on the streets, walking around. It was a huge weekend, hundreds of thousands of people in the street. I would guess like 200 to 220,000. Who knows? Could be a complete made-up number, but it would seem it was upwards of that amount of people by the fact that for like all city blocks were shoulder to shoulder. So that day, someone went and hung an upside-down flag, Canadian flag, on Terry Fox, which an upside-down Canadian flag shows distress for your nation. It means your nation's going downhill very quickly. So when you hang the flag upside down, it means we're worried for our country. So someone hung that on Terry Fox on the memorial downtown in front of Centre Block Parliament off Wellington and Metcalfe. And they hung that flag up there upside down. And right away, the CBC and all these guys jumped on it and said, you defamed or defaced this statue of Terry Fox. This is not acceptable. The Freedom Convoy has to leave right now on those grounds. That is not acceptable to do that. Whatever. And sure, I don't believe it was defacing. I think it's the most bloody patriotic Canadian thing you could ever do, is to hang a Canadian flag on a Canadian patriot. But they said, well, you don't know what Terry Fox's views were. Whatever. It's not like these other movements that we've seen where people take down statues and they destroy and they deface and they loot and they riot and they murder. It was just a flag. And they ran to the hills with it because they knew this was a peaceful protest and we were all beauties and we're all having grassroots Canadian fun. So they clinged on to that. That moment that someone figured out that was an issue, a trucker got out of his truck and he went and took all that shit off. And then they all brought a bunch of roses and flowers and they put them down around Terry Fox. And they had like military vets like retired vets on guard watching that statue after the whole time. Same with the war memorial. When someone said, oh, a girl that was partying on Saturday, who was clearly this drunk girl that had nothing to do with the convoy, she's just some random chick. I don't even know she was 18, and she's dancing on the tomb of the soldier. So people told her, get off there right now. But of course, Global grabbed the quick shot of it right away, and CTV and CBC and all these guys, and they ran this again. So what did we do? We put like 4 vets in front of that war memorial, and we held guard and put flowers on it, and they cleared all the snow, and they iced it all because the city of Ottawa wasn't doing it. So those war vets took care of that memorial better than the city was taking care of it. So there was those 2 instances right there. But of course, when that was done and the flowers were put there and they had 4 vets on each corner of both monuments, CBC or no one ever came and showed a video of that. They went on to the next thing. They went on to the guy, they talked about the guy with the Nazi flag. And here's where I get going with the Nazi flag guy. No one knows his motivation. Some people say he was a plant and Trudeau put him there. It's very possible. I'm more inclined to believe he was just some dumbass or some guy from the extremist left kind of, hey, I'm going to hijack your guys' movement and make you guys look like racist Nazis. It was either that or a guy who just wanted to be like, hey guys, this is where we're going. Remember this sign? I don't agree with it. You shouldn't be flying that flag here. But it could have been something as innocent as that and the guy not realizing how dumb it is to fly that flag here. And he's flying that flag. But guess what? They say, and this is how they say it, that Nazi imagery has no place. Okay, I agree. I think we can all agree with that. That Nazi imagery has no place in this country. So it should be taken down. And you know what? You know how many people had to see it? If there is 200,000 people there, I guarantee you only 50,000 people seen it. So yeah, it hurts people. Yeah, it brings up past of your ancestors, and it's racist. And I get it. Yeah, and they're saying we give that a platform and whatever. That's a key word. They say you're giving the Nazi symbolism a platform. Even if it was one guy amongst 200,000 people, you're giving that imagery a platform. Now, those people who say that we're giving that imagery a platform, now go and they post it on their mainstream news network that has a global wide reach of millions of people, and they post the picture of the guy flying the flag with that same Nazi imagery. And then people go on Facebook. They're like, see, I told you the trucker convoy people were racist. Here's an image of Nazi imagery from the trucker contest or from the trucker protest. It's like, you are now showing that same symbolism on social media and showing all your family and friends and bringing up more pain and bringing up more suffering just to try to drive your sick point home. That's made up point that we're racist and misogynistic and we're, what the hell? That's where it's like, the media was just taking anything they could and they could just run with it, right? And that's why these conversations we're having right now are so fucking important. They're so important because that's the reality of what we're facing right now. We're facing a government that has tyrannical, communist-style goals. Like, Trudeau's definitely not a liberal. You know, if you look at the classic definition of a liberal, he's not that. He's not a conservative. What is he, a communist? Marxist? Like, he's definitely not what he says he is. And the shit he's been doing all these years, all these divisive tactics, the most recent time we've seen anything like that was 1930s Germany. When someone were to go and say, when Trudeau said in January, he said, these anti-vaxxers are often misogynistic, they're often racists. Do we tolerate these people? And before that, his first thing to add up to that, back during his snap election, which got him ahead 1 seat, he was actually a minority government, tried to steal he triggered the snap election to try to get a majority government, and by the end of it, he embarrassingly only got ahead 1 seat and still remained as a minority government. But he sent everyone to the polls in the middle of harvest, and more importantly, in the middle of this Delta wave, the most deadly wave of them all. And he sent Canadians to the poll to vote as a quick power grab. He really thought that because of his handling of the pandemic, that they were going to vote him in and he was going to get a majority government again. And thank God he didn't, because this situation here would have been much different. There would have been a lot of different things going on and a lot more devastating laws passed before then. But anyways, this snap election was when he really started the divisive tactics. He got out of the red liberal bus when they're on their campaign. He got out and he says, he says to people, I am here to be a voice for all Canadians. I am here to talk about federal mandates and this and that. And he says, you know what? I'm here to make sure that an unvaccinated person doesn't get on a plane, a train, a bus, or get across the borders and sit beside a vaccinated Canadian who stepped up and did the right thing. It's like, whoa, man, you always said you weren't going to divide us through this whole thing and you weren't going to use it. but you just took a hard left. A really, really hard left. And now you're going down the road of divisive tactics. And then we came into the new year after he had reformed his minority government, come to the new year, and he says things like, these guys are often misogynistic and racists, and do we tolerate them? And then we led into the Freedom Convoy, what we seen him say the first weekend after we got here, that following Monday. He comes out and he dug his heels in. I was like, either he acknowledges the humanity of this movement, all the people on the bridges, in the ditches, all the people in the semis, all the people that are living here, all the people who are a part of this movement, the kids in the bouncy castles, whatever. Either he acknowledges the humanity of it, or he tries to dehumanize it, paint us all as racists again, and then he gets CBC spinning more propaganda. And sure enough, it took that left turn again. And now we're here where it got to the point where he enforced the Emergency Act with no justifiable cause. And the reason he revoked the Emergency Act is because, from we can understand, the way it was going in Senate was it was going to look like he was going to be put to shame in Senate. So, anyways, these are just some of the things I possess in my knowledge banks right now, from my perspective.
Yeah, you absolutely went through it. And anyone who goes through and puts their energy in to try to do a right thing, well, let's not even take a side. Just a thing. And people who want to say that you're doing the wrong thing. When I was in Fairy Creek and I would just stand up to officers in a thought or an education, just being like, we are here to protect these big trees and there's very little of them. And once they're gone, it's way past our lifetimes. These ecosystems can't exist. And I heard that we need biodiversity to stay alive, and like we are a part of it. And if we destroy it all, we don't make moss and we don't pollinate all the fruits like the bees do. And we need some biodiversity to stay alive. So I'm protecting these trees. And now you're looking at me and you're saying I'm an asshole. I don't even have kids, and you do. And they're going to live longer than we are, brother. And this is hard because I'm out here and you're driving around in your vehicles and I'm walking around and I'm trying to just motivate people to stay peaceful and not get too upset. And there's tons of energy going into it. And then what you get back is the explosion of wanting more money in the end, or wanting the flow of, I just think it seems to all come back to wanting to benefit financially for that community, or for the macro group of people to make a micro group of people make more money and continue to make their money. And unfortunately, we have a group of people who will succumb to a small amount of money, or with a few bonuses, or without a necessary or forced vaccination. So I'm talking about police now, police taking small amounts of money to do these kinds of things to their community. So in all this, like, because you talk fast and you are right on point, and people don't know until they feel it emotionally. And it's just wild when you go travel and you experience something and you want to say, like, I got this soup from this old lady and I just cried because it was so beautiful. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or I go to Fairy Creek and I'm like, I talked to the trees and I cried for 10 days. And I now feel like I've changed and my life path is different. People are like, the hell are you talking about? You tell a kid, wear knee pads when you go biking or you're going to hurt yourself. They don't know until they actually scrape their knee and feel the pain themselves and understand and feel the burn. So rules, feelings, what we have to do, like, we are going to mess up as humans. So the person who, oh man, that poor girl who danced on the war memorial, like, bless, man, it's all right. Like, we just, as the community that's there, we take care of that. We say, hey, like, please come down. I think you're offending the majority of us. One big issue I'm seeing, the community isn't together all in Ottawa. We have great people like yourself and people from Quebec, from New Brunswick, all across Canada, even America, other countries joining to go to the capital of Canada and be there in community to feel what it feels like to feel with the tribe, feel good, not alone in a home, scared, no offense to anyone, but when you're in that group and you're feeling the education, and that small area where they make decisions for a whole freaking country that's like drove across from BC to Ontario about 60 hours. We're talking 90 hours across in a car where cities are like 30 minutes apart in Germany or an hour wherever in the world. The majority of what's going to get out is on that global news network or the CBC. And it's such a shame. Like, and we should be careful and be thoughtful more of the people who physically matter most, which is the people around us, and people making decisions in the parliament, that in small town Golden at the local bar where we all trust. And I mean, we did have a virus, it did go through, people died, it's a 99.9% survival rate, I believe. I'm pretty sure the most part of the world
99.4 to 99% in most age groups from youth to like 78 or 84 or something.
My 87
It's quite high.
year old grandma has COVID right now, and I think she's actually handling it better than I did. Everything is different. We're not in control of how we die. We're not in control of everything. And everything you think, I mean, I'm ranting on my own now just as quickly as you would through your emotions. Everything that you think we're going to find in common about this virus, what the fuck makes you think that life doesn't always change, the world doesn't always change, and everything we find about this virus, why wouldn't a virus just find a way to be different from that last one? What the fuck makes you think that we're going to be able to study the shit out of this, be paranoid as ass? We have all the answers. You've never had answers. Everything is always changing. The next virus, just like how this one is a bit odd and we can't figure it out, just like studying and keeping up to date with the Darwin effect, biodiversity, and how things change and move and grow, we're going to have another virus. It's going to be stronger or weaker. They always move around. The thing that kills us the most is like not having our basic needs met. There are people still in towns that may not have clean water or food. And I mean, what's the point of even wanting water and food if you're alone in a home, scared shitless? Depression doesn't bring on any wellness within a body. Being together does. How do you think we, like from the get-go, driving across, we don't need everyone to drive across. I mean, it's a solid point to feel togetherness, and like, it's fucking shitty that we had to come to this in the first place, man. We don't need anyone to tell us our rights. They are not given to you by anyone. They are with you as a human. You do not ask permission if now we can finally not wear a mask or not, like, and this is where I'm talking about the small communities that get affected, and they did feel some impact of it, but like, I can't go into my local bar where I learned how to DJ and choose to work something out between our community, and we're just like, no man, we're trained to be scared because there's like 10 cops in town and there's like 5,000 to 6,000 of us that are like, man, if we don't, we're gonna get a fine because the guy all the way across the country says we have to do things this way, rather than these countries are big and vast and we should bring decisions to smaller communities. I mean, we should let communities have like their laws or their ways of being, and or we should have enough space for people if they want to smoke. There's smoke pits. Non-vaccinated people, there should be non-vaccinated tram cars for people who want to change it up, or like there should be a fitting space for all people. It should not be so pushed even on, so here's a broad spectrum vaccination idea from Trudeau or from pharmaceutical companies wetting people's whistles and forcing someone to say something and change laws. People in the trucks that deliver our food around Canada and the world, it's pretty ridiculous for them to need even any vaccines. Like, should we not just go through a vote of that? And vaccines, mask wearing, they're small scale. We can get into how we, as a whole country, maybe make laws or even still give money to the British, and we still bow to a queen, and apparently like we've kind of followed the roots of capital gain from there, brought it over here. Sorry if I'm getting sidetracked, but what can we tell people as a general reminder and warning, what is it that really needs to happen for us to stay respectful? So the people who come out to peaceful protesters, or even anyone, and say, go fuck yourself, go home, is already behavior and intolerance in itself. And any retaliation to that, unfortunately, we are human and we make mistakes, can happen. The issue already is someone lashing out at another for being a certain way. They could be from a community of people who have been hurt, have been segregated, like BIPOC folks and people of color that have been segregated already. Not saying this is a direct example of what happened. I was not in any sort of space. I mean, anyone who segregates anybody or anyone who lashes out is already starting a bit of a wormhole of an issue. Wormhole or you're starting it.
Well, I think, like, going forward, how we get out of this is to get out of these echo chambers. The divisive stuff is real. The plan, and it sounds crazy to people, but we're going towards a social credit system. We're going towards shit that it scares me that people can't see it. People can't see where this is going, and the only way we beat this is we unite. And the only way to unite is to quit calling each other names, because we got to a point where we're like, how do you believe that? And how do you believe that? And I know people that are like, the vaccines, they're going to kill people. There's chips in them. I'm like, you're already going to chip in your phone. Then they're like, well, the QR code's the chip. And then I'm like, okay, fair enough. That one makes sense. I'm like, the QR code is the fucking chip. And then I got people that are full-blown, don't even believe COVID's real. And sometimes I'll get into conversations with them and I'll be like, kind of does seem a bit sketchy. But then I'm like, I've had COVID. I've lost my taste. I've lost my smell. I've talked to people. I know people who work in the healthcare. I know to me, I believe it's real, and I believe people have died from it. But I also believe that we really just got so lost in this thing, in this whole doing the right thing, and this false sense of moral superiority and all this stuff. We got so lost in that we didn't even think and talk. And a lot of us did in the beginning. We wanted to, but we were told we were conspiracy theorists just to simply talk about the potential of suicide rates going through the roof, the potential of alcoholism going through the roof, drug abuse, domestic abuse, all these things. Just the divisive tactics and the cost of livelihoods and where all that leads. And then not just in the here and now, but the generational waves going 40, 50 years down the road from this shit. We got to factor that all in. We can't just look at every number as, okay, 17,000 people died here, 20,000 people died over there. Okay, and well, is that the only number we're going by?
Fear.
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah, all fear. Like, there's so much to talk about. We cannot just have just one shoe fits all. Here's what you need to do. Do this, or you're an asshole. And that's what they're doing. They're segregating people who didn't look at this one laid out thing by a very, very motivated liberal government, to say the least, and many governments that had this list of, hey, you should stay inside and get your vaccine, get 2 shots, or you'll lose your job. And if you don't do it, well, you lose your house. And then when you lose your house, you're no longer fit to be a parent, so you lose your kids. So make sure you get your vaccine. Also, if your neighbor has more than 5 people in their house, call the police. Like a lot of things that are at the core of our value to never do. And they're like, hey, do these things. It's like, whoa, man, I get it. We got to protect people. This virus is real, but what you're doing is wrong. And like I said, we can sit here, I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll say, you know what, a lot of these people, at the moment, the science said this, and it said that, and they thought they were doing the right thing, and they had no Pfizer pocketed motivations. Let's just say that the vaccine and the pharmaceutical wasn't in their pocket. Let's just say it was very from the heart. Let's just say it was from there. It still doesn't matter. It's still like, even if you want to do the right thing, how come nobody was ever talking about all of these other things? And like, it would seem people are so disconnected with their spiritual side, or just like with just some common sense, like just thinking of the generational ripples. Like, we have to talk about generational habits. Like, if you lose your if you lose your family business that you've spent all these years building, and now you become an alcoholic, or you become this, or something changes. There's a huge shift in your life, and there's a huge shift, and it changes and it alters the course of your life. Now that's going to be felt through your child, then your child's child, and it's going to go down. Like just like alcohol abuse, that can take 4 cycles, 4 generations to breed that out. These are well-known things. You know, and like the biggest thing from the beginning that I thought was just, it made me mad from day one was when, of course, the Liberal government went around and their campaign was for the vaccine stuff. We're all in this together. Yet a politician didn't lose a single dime. Actually, as a matter of fact, a lot of them got more rich. And if you know where you're looking, you don't even have to know where you're looking. It's pretty easy to find. Doug Ford owns, from what I understand, I can't say for sure on this one, but from what I've looked into and I've seen, it looks like Doug Ford is responsible for printing off, his company printed off all the signs for the stores that have the arrows for the aisles, and they have all the things telling you where to go, and he became a multi-millionaire through this whole thing. Now, I can't 100% confirm that. This is just, I just got into this because someone told me about this the other day, and it started to look that way. And if that's true, whether or not it's true or not, we know politicians didn't lose a single dime. What we do know, though, is ma and pa businesses, generational businesses, were forced to close their doors. I know of like 5 of them personally that had to close their doors, and their whole livelihood was just taken away from them overnight. Complete bankruptcy. Gone. Everything you spent all those years. Whatever, you're just a statistic. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together. Those who agree with us, and you know. But yeah, that's the thing. You're not in this together. The only time I've ever seen people in this together through the last 2 years and a little over 2 years we've been doing this shit. The only time I've seen we're all in this together was the truckers. And when we're on the road, and we're all like, yeah, we're all in this together. We all understand what's going on here. We all understand the government overreach against our civil liberties. We all understand very well where this came from and where it's going. And the fact that they're digging their heels in. UK dropped all their restrictions. Yet Trudeau, no, we're keeping the federal stuff in place. Why? Well, because they have unprecedented power they've never had before in a democracy. So of course they want to hold on to that. I mean, pick up a history book if you don't believe that, right? And it's stressful. It's stressful to say the least, but the only way to get through to the other people, and for maybe them to get through to us and things that we may be overseeing, is to have these chats. Like, you know, when someone says, and I try to correct people when I can, when they're like, man, I don't believe this is real or that's real. It's like, well, then talk about it. Instead of just saying, and I get caught up in this myself. I'm guilty of this, and I try to get out of my own echo chamber. But just being like, man, fuck that person. How's that person so dumb? But it's like, I know smart people who are just like completely dismissive over us and what we're doing, and they're buying into the mainstream narrative, and you got to ask where this all comes from. Why are they like that? Why do they feel that way? And we got to just like almost reverse source the whole thing and just figure out where it all started and where it's going and how we get out of it. And it's not through calling each other names. It's not through disagreeing and being like, hey, fuck you because you don't hold the same opinion as me. And I'll quote Joe Rogan on this. Joe Rogan said, when Whoopi Goldberg got caught for bringing up her racist Holocaust remarks, Joe Rogan, she's been trying to cancel Joe Rogan for years. All the women on The View have been trying to cancel Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan's always said, I hate cancel culture. It's not acceptable. And when Whoopi Goldberg got called out, everyone's like, yeah, deplatform her, cancel her. And Joe Rogan's like, no, don't. Correct her and give her job back. Don't fire her. We can't start this society of canceling people we don't agree with and destroying them and deplatforming them. That's insane. Where do you think that goes? That goes to a very dark place. And, you know, he made another point. He said the reason people are watching live streamers and independent journalists these days is because they trust them. They realize they're not financially motivated to lie to them. So if they do get something wrong, don't try to cancel them. You should respect that they're trying to tell you the truth. And whether or not they got something wrong, and even if I get something wrong here myself tonight, don't try to cancel me. Let's have a chat. Correct me. And then let me move on as a more empowered and a wiser person because of that mistake. And let me take my job more seriously. You know? And if you cancel me and destroy me, you know, oh my goodness. I don't like cancel culture, to say the least.
You have been a blessing. Thank you so much. And like, okay, so we can't trust one person's opinion. We can't follow one person. We can't believe one person has the answers for all, especially being miles away. Dude, there's a fucking province in this country that speaks a whole other language. Like, I bet that guy barely caters to that, barely understands the cultures.
I've been over there a lot in the last couple of weeks. That's where I bought this motorhome from. to hunker down and live here. And I've been dealing with the Quebecers, and I was like, man, I'm in France right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was a minority there, and it's like, yeah, it's such a very diverse country. Very diverse country.
And one lesson I learned at Fairy Creek is you're out there, we're just talking as people, and one of the coolest things that you just said is like when you're with the truckers, you're feeling united, as opposed to when the guy on the screen is like, feel united.
Yeah, you're
you
locked
actually
in your basement by yourself.
Sinking on the same idea, talking, and shit, dude, calling each other names. We would be out in Fairy Creek, like, coming up with a decision on what to do, and, like, there has to be a point where someone does something, and we can sit here and think to ourselves, like, oh, that's going to go wrong because of this, or you're an asshole for saying that and trying to do it that way because you're not taking the way the indigenous on that land would do it. And literally, the main thing that brought me there, views, is like trees getting cut. And I'm like, we're fucking arguing right now, and trees are getting cut because we're talking about that bullshit that was brought up yesterday in the news that's enticing you to yell at him, which is bringing us all, we're all right here, not paying or being paid to be cops, to defend trees. So someone fucking, let's go. And there's work to be done. And what's going on with the truckers is they're having a rave. And at a rave, some people, they can't fall or do exactly what they want to do until there's a massive rave going on. And when the massive rave is going on, there's a finally chance,
like party rave?
Yeah, for somebody to take
crazy
advantage of someone else in a horrible way, right? I'm talking in the 99%. There's a percent there in a rave of 10,000 people where you got people out to hurt people, out to take advantage of them, and they can't do that without that environment. I'm not saying we need to have these environments so then those people can act. What I believe is the rave a bad thing? There is environmental issues with it. There is not perfection. There is some drug abuse. Looking at all the negatives. 99% of people leave there with a better attitude, go into their towns with new creative ideas, more love than ever, more companionship, and what I saw with the movement and people nitpicking what is slightly wrong with it to argue a fact, and that does cut them. And they are right. They are going through their experience the way it is. They're not wrong. And I like what you said earlier with, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say they're right. They and all the people that I respect that got a vaccine for how they felt, or the people who want to wear a mask, fucking give her. But we don't need anybody telling anyone, like, yo, you're a fucking idiot with that mask. Get the fuck out of here. Or, hey, go die. You got a vaccine. Or, hey, man, go die. You don't have a vaccine. You're killing my grandma. That's not happening. The guy flying the Nazi flag, he's not killing anyone who doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. Just holding the flag. No one actually interviewed that individual. The rave.
No one knows his motivation. No one has any idea.
The rave is good.
People are sitting there, and people are sitting there telling you they know his motivation, but no one knows. No one knows what the fuck that guy was flying that flag, but everyone will tell you why he was flying it, which it blows my mind. I don't know. No one knows. No one talked to him. No one even knows there's an $8,000 jackpot the truckers have put out. And don't quote me on that. It might not be the truckers, but someone built a jackpot that last time I checked was upwards of $8,000 as a reward to turn that guy in so we can hear his story. Why'd you fly a Nazi flag at a freedom rally, man? What's that all about? You know, so no one knows. No one knows. So people got to calm down on that shit, right?
The trucker movement, when I heard some rebuttal against it, I thought to myself, I don't see another better thing going on anywhere that a better idea for pushing back against the suppression that's happening towards like multiple nations, worldwide practiced, worldwide collaboration. I don't see anything better. And what went down with Canada, they kicked it on, buddy. And it is worldwide.
Yeah, it's worldwide. That's that's why living in it, it was the weirdest. Like, I've been out here a month now. What's today? The 27th? So yeah, I've been on the road for over a month. I left on the 24th, I believe, of last month. I've seen a lot of shit. I've been through more emotions than I've ever been through in my life. And it was like, whoa, dude. Okay, so it's a revolution. Then we get here, and then the world turns into an uproar, and you see Australia, New Zealand, and the U.S. right now, and you're seeing all these convoys, and you're like, whoa,
New Zealand.
man. Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
Yellow jackets, truckers in Europe. U.S. for sure, coming like right up to the border.
Right now, yeah, they're all rolling. They're halfway across the U.S. right now.
Okay, having a leak. Be right back.
Howdy.
Can you?
What?
You can hear me.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
beauty. You followed the convoy. You just took films and you just filmed your side of things. And your side is a side. And I want to be not like one other and follow one side of things. I just consider your side and I like it because it feels ever true. And things that feel good usually are right. We don't want to just throw and have a mess around here. We don't want our air to be totally toxic. We don't want people to suffer on other parts of the planet. And like, I don't want to suffer in feeling energetically against when people bully me to tell me I'm wrong for doing something or make me do something. Pretty sure school might not even have taught me it because a lot of teachers can be bullies. But you filmed and you try to capture your side of things, and you don't have the freedom to show that in having live streams blocked and having the news show an entirely opposite side without showing any other side. Now, devil's advocate, bad news spreads twice as fast. It's more popular. People don't want to watch the news if it's just full of positivity, one might say. But we need to be aware that everything we consume, if you just listen to gangster rap all day and negativity, you are not more powerful than feeling that, becoming slightly a part of that. If you're around a depressed housemate, you can't be more powerful than to feel that energetically and become slightly that. We need to be careful with watching one side of things and going down one route of something. Now, it's really easy to just follow what we've already done before. Follow the path that has already been made. But we have to step off it, look at the path, the direction we're going once in a while, or we need to go down one side, the other side, to connect, to relate to people, to understand which side is truly better, or come up with some reasonable... I mean, we can't just put money all into one path. If someone is making those paths like a government, why is it that they would only incentivize one? Is that a good warning for people? Is that informative? I'm gonna have to shotgun a beer. You know what's hilarious?
That was a White Claw. That's gross.
Shotgunning drinks. Someone's like, I don't like beer enough to do that. I'm like, that's why you shotgun, dude. You don't taste it as much. I shotgun beer.
That's literally why.
Drinking beer, because I couldn't drink it when I was 14, 15, 16. Starting to consume.
That's how I got into really drinking beer when I was about 25 or so, because I used to keep up my water intake to at least the minimum of 2 liters a day. So I'd slam. I'm like, just get this out of the way. So I got good at slamming water so I could always keep up on it, because I always hated sitting there filling up a glass and always feel like such a commitment. So I would always just, slam water, and I got good at slamming gigantic mugs of water. So one night I was out drinking, I said, I'll come out for a beer, right? Go out for a beer, and I'm literally 25 years old. And I I'm like, let's try it with a mug of beer. And I downed it in 1 second. Everyone's like, what the fuck? I'm like, whoa, dude. So I'm like, okay, so I got into shotgunning and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's a good way. Because I always believed, if you start drinking at 6 or 7 at night and you want to be responsible and be in bed at a decent time, really, what's the point of fucking around and sitting there having 2 beers an hour, and sitting there trying to get them down? It's like, why not just bang one back, bang another one back? You're in the zone, you're partying, and now you can capitalize on those 4 hours that you have, those short 4 hours, right? That's my philosophy with that, anyways. Path of least resistance, my man.
Just get them in ya.
Get them in ya.
But people enjoy the taste of their beers, and like it's a shame when and if you don't get to enjoy it. Did you just have a second White Claw?
No, I finished the rest of that one because these things explode. They're all fizzy and shit, dude.
Yeah. Okay, good on you. Clean it up.
Yeah, clean her up.
Watch the news. My dad, when we talk, he brings up facts. You know anything about Russia, Ukraine? Didn't Russia already invade Ukraine? No offense to anyone being hurt. No offense to, like, pain is real. People do die. People die in peaceful protest. I don't think anyone died in Ottawa, which shouldn't fucking happen because, people would have had to remove their kids from being involved in something that is so educationally right.
Someone almost did die here, actually. Two people almost died.
I'm super glad no one did, and our population is low, and...
You know how they almost died?
No.
Getting run over with horses by the police.
Yeah, good idea, police. Yeah.
That was the only time anyone came close to death or any sort of violence happened, was when they invoked it. But yeah, no, continue. I just wanted to make sure that point was across.
Well, I don't really know what's going on right now, and I don't want to let fear take over and start going down a path of thinking about, like, what's better, letting someone launch a missile on a town of people or killing them was a question that was raised in conversation. I'm like, Jesus, like...
So, I'm trying to, like, the Russia stuff, I'm trying to stay out of until I can actually get... It's like anything. It's like anything we've seen these past years. When something comes up and everyone's like, oh, man, this thing, and then this other thing, and, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse. And then it's like, everyone's like, oh, he shot a black guy. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's crazy. Fuck that kid. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to wait. I know better than have opinion on this. I'm going to wait. Give it some time. Sure enough, turns out there's a lot of lies. He never shot a black guy, and there's all this... It's just like the COVID thing. Oh, we lock everyone down. Do this, do that. Then it turns out lockdowns are detrimental. Turns out lockdowns are this and that. So to truly, for me personally, to really figure something out, like I kind of sit on the sidelines and I watch and I wait, because in the moment it is difficult, and maybe I should do better and be more present. But it is really difficult to see what's going on because there's a lot of this sleight of hand stuff these days. Something's going on over here, but they're pulling a hand over here, right? And I think there's a lot of that going on in this Russia stuff right now with the media.
Perfect fucking timing.
Yeah, perfect fucking timing.
Right as soon as the world is actually striking, right now, the whole fucking world is going to, like, their capitals. The Western world, because, like, guys in, like, Central South Africa, they're just like, what's up? What's up? No malaria today. A little bit of fresh water.
Malaria.
Got my fucking kid. They got a pencil today at school. It's fucking dope.
And they say World War III will be fought with cameras. Well, what do you think we're doing now? I'm live streaming. CBC is doing segments where they cut video clips out and they show you things from their perspective. So maybe this is the war of cameras. Maybe, you know, and I don't think you can deny the strikes that are going on in Ukraine. But all I'm saying is right now, for me to give an accurate description on what's going on there, I can't. I can tell you that I am Ukrainian, though. My whole dad's side's Ukrainian. Our real last name is Ukrainets. When my grandpa went to the war, they shortened it to Ukraine. And when they came back, they kept it because it was easier. So I have a feeling of, like, I should be there. I have a feeling like I should be... If I could fly there, and someone's like, man, if you could cover Ukraine, if you could be there, I'm like, I honestly would consider it. I see journalists there, and I'm not a journalist. I'm a YouTuber. Maybe I want to be a journalist. I don't know. But all I know is that I have a big calling where everyone's like, you should go cover the U.S. convoy. I'm like, I would like to do that too. But something makes me want to go to Ukraine and learn what the fuck's going on there and to be a part of it and to see it and to understand it, because I truly believe after this movement, the only way you can truly understand something is if you're right in the fucking middle of it. Then you can truly understand it. You can see it from the ground. And that's what I believe people need to do to show other people these days, is to be there and to show them, like, hey, man, this is actually what's going on. Walk around for 10 hours live streaming. Like, this bullshit where you take a video and you cut it into clips and you show people what you want them to see. You can't trust people who do that. You know, and maybe you have someone you trust, and you have more trust for them, but it's still like, I don't know, man.
That's even you, dude. I try to just be like, okay, I'm obsessing over watching Tanner in Ottawa, and I'm really thinking they're his side too much. I need to see some other clips. I need to talk to some people. I need to feel other things. And then at the end of the day, I'm so far away from it. Why don't I just be who I am, where I am? Because that's kind of the only thing that matters. And I'm getting so fucking angst up and wishing I could be there and helping a situation that I wouldn't even know fucking existed if I didn't have this insane supercomputer in my pocket to get me riled up on it.
Which you and I have talked about in the past when you and I are at music festivals in BC and stuff, and we're being all spiritual in the woods. We're like, fuck these phones, man. We're like, fuck these phones. But then we realize the government's using this technology against us, but now we're using it to fight them. So it's like, oh man, these supercomputers are amazing. But when we're in the woods, fuck those supercomputers, dude. We got to be around the trees and the people.
Balance,
yeah.
Right? Because we're around them the majority of the time. Okay, so what we just brought up with like the news, and I don't think there's been a goddamn good bit of news coming out. Like, you watch any news to get good news or information, you're fucked. You're watching a business which is like Canada or America or Ukraine or Russia or China or influenced by anybody, and they're just trying to deliver messages to you to make you think a certain way. They're not trying to make you think in a certain way to make you grow or be better. Like, it's actually pretty rare for people to do that. Like, they gotta really love you. And like, in a lot of ways, it's bringing you down and finding the shit that's wrong and like correcting you. That's actually truly love, not just saying like, people are dying over here because of you or because of that guy. Here's a picture of how they may look. I'm not saying like a murderer and they bring up a picture. I'm saying the people who are not vaccinated should be shunned. Shun them individually in your town. Make them get vaccinated. Fucking fire them. You got to. Like, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. And you know, it is. It's like you do have to care about people and your country. And I've learned a lot about that, about myself about that, because I've been going through like a spiritual transformation the last few years, especially after I've met you and all of our friends in our beautiful community in British Columbia. After even being in Fairy Creek for only 24 hours and meeting the people there and seeing what they stood up for actually gave me strength here to stand up for what I believe in. And, you know, and just being on the front lines and getting smashed in the leg by cops and thrown down by 5 cops, I'm like, fucking Colin and those guys will do it. And they'll do it for trees. They believe in the trees, and I believe in the trees. I also believe in having a free country so we can also fight for those trees. Like, so we can fight for everything. But and this is where we get into stuff where everyone's like, what about the indigenous and the drinking water? How come you're not forming a convoy for that? Or how come no one's giving any attention to that? It's like, I hear your concerns. And I really want to use my channel and going forward to help those issues. But first thing we need to address is what this government's doing. We need you all to see what is going on. Because if we let this keep going, you're not going to ever have that clean drinking water. You're not going to ever have any of that shit because they don't give a shit about you. Why do you think they haven't been out there in years? Trudeau's been promising for years. Why do you think he hasn't done it? Because he doesn't give a shit. And the fact is that he doesn't give a shit about not only you guys, but everybody in this country. So we're fighting for everyone. And like I was saying, me being here, I for years kept talking about it. My mom and dad always were talking about how this thing's just this evil play by the government. And I said, Mom and Dad, quit talking about it. It's depressing, you know, and I started to come to the light. My mom and dad are fucking so smart. They're so wise. And they've always been supportive of me. And I've always, anytime I've never listened to them when they've tried to guide me, I've always learned to listen to them because they always know what the hell they're talking about. They don't make decisions irrationally. They always make very rational decisions. So when they were telling me all about all this shit, they talked about Klaus Schwab and they talked about the social credit system and stuff. I'm like, Mom and Dad, hold on a second. I just want to hold this guy in. I'm like, Mom and Dad, like, stop. Like, it's depressing. And, like, I would have conversations with friends. We'd be out in the bar, and I'd be talking about this stuff. I'd be like, let's stop talking about this. And, like, or one other friend would say it first. Let's stop talking about this because none of us are ever going to do anything about it. And this and that. And I'm like, yeah, and it's depressing. Because you know what? It's a hell of a lot easier to go on with your regular life and wake up in the morning and make your coffee, go to the gym, go to your job, pay for your new truck, pay for your house, and just pay the bills. It's a hell of a lot easier just to do that and just kind of just go through life than it is to get in a car, drive across Canada, sleep pretty much with no sleep, editing videos, being with the truckers, hanging out, communicating, building a community, and then living in the streets of Ottawa, getting beat down by cops, and then buying a motorhome to live in, to stay here longer, to show the truth and expose the truth more, and expose the lies even more. It takes a lot more strength to do that than it does to sit by and to just be like, yeah, you know what, let's just not talk about it. If that's what's going on, I don't want to know about it. That was even my mentality. It got to the point where I was so beat down, I knew what was going on all these years, and I felt so beat down that I'm like, oh God, you know, and I got to the point where I was agreeing with my friends. I was like, you know, none of us are going to do anything about it, so I want you to shut up about it, quit talking about it, not bring it into our lives, because there's nothing we can do about it. But it turns out, those who talked the most about it and couldn't let it go, including myself, were the first ones to jump on the convoy when it rolled. We were the first ones to be like, yep, here it is. They were waiting for the opportunity. They were waiting for the platform. And then when that platform rolled, we jumped on that platform. And now we're here. I threw my whole life. I miss my girlfriend. I miss my dog. I miss my cat so much. I miss my home out in the country of Alberta. I miss a lot of shit. I miss my mental and physical health. I would say my mental health's stronger than ever, but there are days, and especially after what happened to us last week, those were dark times for Canadian history. And the fact other Canadians can't see that makes it darker. And that was a mental fuck round till yesterday when we went protesting again, and we reconverged and we, you know, started building our numbers up again. Yesterday I felt lit. I felt great. We went and partied out in the wilderness of Ontario last night. We had a bonfire with a bunch of semis, and we had a flat deck with a stereo on it, and they were playing like Cotton Eye Joe and shit out in the middle of Ontario in a snowstorm. Like, it was a cold night. It had just stormed the day before. Cool, man. Morale is up again. But my physical health, I've been walking a lot. Walking up and down Ottawa all day yesterday. Walking, tons of exercise. I've got to have lost at least 10 pounds since I've been here. But I miss the gym. I miss my routine. I miss my life. I miss my regular get up and go everyday life. But I've come out here. I bought a 32-foot mobile motorhome. It's a mobile home. All my stuff is in here now. My computer gear, the computer that I'm talking on and everything. And now I've like almost rebuilt. And it's made me realize where that strength comes from, where that commitment and how easily we can change and we can adapt. And I mean, even this summer when I went to Fairy Creek with Andrew and Jamie and them, I remember walking through the old growth forest. I was pretty out of shape. And it was just probably the start of my fitness journey. We're going up the side of this mountain, and there's like 2 mountain ranges you got to climb over to get up to Hawk Ridge or whatever ridge that was. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I was bitching the whole time. I was like, I'm out of it, man. Holy shit, I can't do this. But then, like, the more I would stop and be in the moment in that old growth forest, I would even hear your voice. I would hear you say, man, the biodiversity and this and that. I'm like, dude, I'm walking through a fucking organism right now. This is insane. This is fucking crazy. So, and then I get to the top of the encampment and I start to realize people have done that there. They've built homes. They've just like left their lives and gone and lived in the forest and built encampments, and they have Starlink radio. They have Starlink and communication. They all radio in camp to camp, and they're dealing with the cops and the logging companies and making it very difficult for them. They've thrown their whole lives away in this life as they knew it and built this whole new life and adapted. And I was up there. There's a lot of mosquitoes. People are like hiding in nets and stuff to get away from the bugs. I'm like, you guys are literally here to fight for an old growth forest that I guarantee you a majority of this government, or the majority of the citizens of this country don't give a fuck about. And because they can't see it. So just because the majority doesn't see something, that does not mean that you're not right. And everyone's like, oh, the majority doesn't agree with you guys and your freedom convoy. It's like, that doesn't mean they're right. That does not mean by any means they're right. It's just the fact that this is another thing where you see this divide in people. Even the people I'm out here with right now who support this movement, and we're all best friends, I guarantee you there's a lot of them I could talk to that would say, man, fucking tree huggers, dude. Guys, fuck the old growth forest. Let them tear them down. And I still can't believe that those people don't understand the value of those old growth forests and what they hold and the inspiration they hold for future generations and the biodiversity of them and the water that like Fairy Creek, for example. The amount of wildlife you would take out by taking out a watershed like that. And people can't see it. They and even the people who are so supportive of this movement still are like, what's up with the tree huggers? Another funny thing, I was in my buddy's semi and he's revving the engine, he's honking the horn, and these 2 girls came up that were very Fairy Creek-esque. They had the signs that says, we hug trees, but we love truckers. And they had the signs out and they're dancing to the horns and stuff, and it's just such a cool, all-inclusive movement. is, you know, and then the fact they try to say it's a racist movement, just like insane, man, insane. But we're united. We're strong. We're really strong.
You got a brother that just showed up?
I got a friend.
Yeah, he just listening? What does he want to chime in? Do you have to go?
You want to come on? Say hi to my friend Colin, have a chat. Dave's seen it all. You want to talk to Dave? Dave's a legend, man.
Bring him on for a bit, for sure.
Yeah. Have a chat. This is my friend Colin. He runs a podcast. Introduce yourself.
Hey, Colin.
Howdy, Dave. I'm
How you doing?
I'm super good, man. I'm in Mexico, and I'm talking to Tanner. Tanner went across the country, as we know. I've been following him, and I've been good friends with him. Go across the province hitchhiking for him, and hang out with him on his birthdays, or just he'll look you in the eye. He seems to listen, and I appreciate that a lot about him. And for him to just go out and film and just bring truth, and for me to have the opportunity to talk and get people to hear a little bit of just his story, and like I want to bring into the air how it's so dead obvious he would film and then be suppressed, and how if you can just open your hearts to a friend of mine to listen and see what this guy has to say. I'm not following 100%. And I'm not following anyone 100% because that you're bound to fail. Like, you got to try. You're an individual. you got to be listening to your heart. Take other people.
Take little pieces from all over and put it together and make your own assessment.
We're all kids, and we're all growing, and we're gonna keep growing. And then we have kids, and they're gonna teach us. And the moment you think like they're fucking something up, they're growing in that moment. And what are you doing? In where you guys are near Ottawa right now?
Yeah, we're with half an hour striking distance of Ottawa. Yeah,
striking distance. How are you doing today?
Today it's great.
Yeah, rolling in sun.
Tired. Like it's been a long weekend. Friday, Saturday, and finally last night my body just said, nope, you got to shut her down.
What do you want people to what have you learned, or what would help if people acted a certain way or felt a certain way within, because we're going to go back to our communities, right? You guys have made a community because you are the forward thinking, the not as scared, or I mean coincidentally can drop what you're doing to join each other to be where you are now. But what about if we sort this out and then we're settled in our communities? What can we do to avoid this in the future? Or what would you like people to do now within their communities that's like a general blanket statement, or what are you learning that you might have learned there that we can do along our ways?
Well, the one big thing that I'm always going to go back to out of this is I'm originally from Alberta. There's always been a division between Alberta and Quebec. I feel this movement has significantly closed that gap. It's brought the country back together more than men's hockey winning gold in the Olympics, more than it blows all of that out of the water. It's just the coming together of people across the country.
What do you think? How do we keep people together in the country?
I think we need to listen to each other. Like, that is the biggest thing. And with what they tried to do with the censoring of shutting this all down, and they're still trying. They're still trying to censor us. I'm personally a victim. I lost my YouTube channel. Never once had a community guideline strike, never had nothing. They popped my whole channel, dumped me.
Yeah. You're bringing just your angle on what's going on where you're at, and you just have your opinions.
Exactly. Yep.
And At what point is that a shame? What the fuck? At what point does anyone need to listen to you? Maybe you have little views and I follow you because I like you. Or you had a lot of views because what you're saying is very popular and it's a great idea and it feels really good, and you're getting shut down because people don't want your idea to get as popular as fast as it's getting. What other idea would that be? Like, that's an idea of suppressing someone else. Like, I don't mind the news being on. Sure, say whatever you want, show whatever you want, but I would like people to be aware that they should take time away from it. They should take time to look at other sources, and they should, they should maybe share other sides of stories a little more, maybe a more diverse range of news stories rather than mainly negative news. And that's it.
I would agree, because if you look at how the news cycles operate, they operate in negative cycles, not in positive ones. Negativity seems to be more popular for the mainstream media for them to build traction on, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but
must be more popular with just humans, and in our own country we must be victims of it, and we are just as powerful as we are as individuals, equally as responsible for passing on bad news or passing on something we're not entirely informed on. We, at the start of this, I believe, I was thinking to myself, like, how does this all make sense? Why is a mask really actually gonna do fucking anything? And over time, adapted to the group, to the herd, because the group and the herd were too scared to fight off like the small amount of police within each town. And we are well trained to have thought, hope in our leaders. And we let it go, and I mean, our leaders may be pushing their way a little too much. So we're equally as responsible, and I mean, it's perfectly in time, man. We're perfectly in time. We gathered it together. We talked as much as we do. Let this be a lesson to talking maybe even sooner. I don't think anyone did anything wrong. I think we're learning on the way. And with this, a ton of people are learning.
I think some people definitely did some things very wrong.
Go on.
Our prime minister could have ended this all right. He had 3 weeks to end it before they got here. And he did nothing. He did not communicate. He basically said, no, you guys are terrorists and I'm not talking to you. And then this happened. All because of the lack of communication. If the doors opened to communication, this all could have been done within a matter of days.
Yeah.
But there was no open doors, no nothing.
All right, can you check Tanner back on?
Yeah.
I want to finish a point with him.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, brother. Tanner, you son of a bitch.
How the hell are ya?
Hey, thanks, buddy. Yeah, we are just fucking pushing the gear. I want to say, as a rule, we got to be careful in being individuals in this country and then looking to authority to help us in doing this, or asking them, or we're fucked in how much control they have with our benefits, our financial power within our own communities, to be like, hey, can you please give us this money? Because in asking, with this group populace of money that we pool, federally, taxes, they choose what we get. And now we got to this point of trust where we're so fucking used to that, we ask them, like, what's good and bad. And so many people listen to that rather than within the communities, like, taking care of each other and, like, making sure we know and discussing what works for us. So when we get pissed at Trudeau, we ourselves have been educated and follow the rules so much that we broke them. The majority broke them. Uneducated or scared or groupthink, all together, all of it. We power the whole fucking thing, dude. Every day. If all of us stop paying for taxes, how many cops? You need more cops to deal with the people. Then we're more than the police. Like, at a certain point, police are people. At a certain point. People switch sides when they're fucking scared and they don't think they're going to have enough money, etc. It is so... We're so deep-rooted. We've gone to school. We've been in this system. We're so used to it. There's an idea that people getting pulled over in the middle of the night to talk to police, to have a breathalyzer test, to be arrested, they had no fucking reason to arrest you. We have the freedom of motion. There's an idea, okay? So people, we're going to stop drinking and driving. We should. For the benefit of our community. Now, if you love people in your community and you love yourself, you don't want to drink so much. You don't want to drive. You don't want to hurt anyone in your community. And you care more about yourself. You understand that you're a worse driver. And maybe there's back roads all the way to your house. Sure, give her. Have a great time. Fuck yeah. But we're so used to it and it's normal that someone can just pull us up any fucking time and pretty much arrest us. And that's okay. And how did we get to that part? How did we get to a part where we need to wait for the government to tell us it's okay what to do? We are walking around individuals with the rights, and we lose our power when we lose each other and we lose communicating and being exactly who we are as people. Is that too big? Is that... A lot of it becomes a catch-22 when we wait or when we go to these people to tell us, like, stop fucking enforcing this. It's the fucking cops, man. We should just, have a group meeting in town and be like, these cops fucking enforce us masks in this town? Get the fuck out of here. What are we... We are the people. We didn't want to do this, but then we get educated, in a sense of the federal government has the most amount of money. Maybe they go to hospitals first, and goddamn, it is deep-rooted and difficult.
Definitely something.
You see that train of thought I'm going down there?
Well, in my town that I live in, my rural area, Foothills County in Alberta, I would say... What was that? Anyways, the lights, I almost lost you there. I thought the power was going to kick out. Anyways, in my community, in my area, and just most of the rural areas in Alberta in general, people have come to this consensus where it's we're done. We are done with this shit. And you've seen this with the border blockades and the cowboys on the horses and all this stuff. But we, 2 years in, a year and a half in, we were we're done. We're not doing this. And no one would ever tell you, hey, where's your mask? This and that. And I mean, there was restaurants letting us in. It's fuck your vaccine mandates. We're not segregating people and telling them they can't come in for dinner. We took a stand, and good luck enforcing that in a town full of Albertans that are going to tell you to get fucked. Pardon my French, but that's where we're at in Alberta. And Alberta is very much like Texas. We don't put up with that shit. You're not going to tell us what to do. And I know a lot of people are well, it's your duty to mask up. It's your duty to do this, and fair enough. Yeah, everyone, if there's a virus going around, everyone could do their part to help everybody and all that, and they can do their part to help and all that. And I know a lot of people think this. They're hey, just wear your mask, just do this, do that. But it's gotten to the point where it's so much beyond that is just that's just the baseline. That is just the baseline. There's so much more that are going on behind the doors that it's not about that. And we're taking a stand against what they're using this as. And a good example is the Whistle Stop Cafe in Alberta up by Red Deer. These guys, when they told them to shut their doors, they said, we're going to lose everything. Our restaurant's going to go under. This business has been around for many years, and we're not putting up with this. So they kept their doors open, and all the farmers in the community kept coming in. They kept coming in. They're nope, no vaccines, no masks. Do what you want. Your choice. You want to wear a mask? Then you wear a mask. You want to not wear one? Then don't wear one. We're not telling you what to do. So the cops came in and they forcibly closed this restaurant down. They kept harassing them and bullying them. And Chris from the Whistle Stop Cafe and his wife, they hopped in their picker truck and they drove all the way out here with the convoy to be here to protest and to say, hey, you know what? It's not okay what's going on. Look at us, for example. We literally rebelled against this, and they came at us almost like Nazis. They shut us down and they arrested us, and yeah. So I think a lot of people should be like Alberta. They should just stand strong and be united. You know, that's why this movement started in Alberta. That's where the convoy came from. That's the organizers are all from Alberta, and whether or not you agree with the organizers, some of them have shady pasts, whatever. What this turned into was more than what they started. It was and it became worldwide. So when you're saying, oh, because this one this one guy has a past with this and that, and people bring up racist ties with Pat King, and Pat King was not a leader, but more so a media representation and a guy who was just helping truckers get fuel and stuff. But of course, they tried to paint him as leader of this thing, and he had this past. But it doesn't matter. This whole thing's turned into a worldwide movement that has more power and more strength of the message than what the original leaders started it out as. They were just the spark to light the fire. To focus on that minority idea is just not what we stand for. It's not what this has become. It's so much more than that. And like I said, I'm proud that this started in Alberta. This is where it started. The first convoy left BC the morning before. They left from the Lower Mainland, and they came up and they met everyone in Calgary. And then that's where the convoy really started just pushing. Good old Smokey and the Bandit, eastbound and down. Jerry Reed. We're eastbound and down, 18 wheels and trucking.
What can you say as a whole? This protest is peaceful from what you've seen. This protest from I'm just saying this, I'm just taking the words out of your mouth because you live stream so freaking much and you film, and I can't imagine it being any other way. People are nice. We tried to be nice. We got to make sure, we got to start writing rules of let's continue being nice. Let's not invent scarcity to make wealth. Using the Canadian dollar. If you use the Canadian dollar from a guy who cuts old growth and you're at a grocery store and you give him food to survive and you accept the Canadian dollar that he was paid, the Canadian dollar, because the federal government sells the logging rights to another fucking country, takes a cut, logging company gets a cut, logging company gives a tiny percentage to these loggers who can get $200,000 in their years to get a house, and then it's fucking gone as soon as that house is done in 40 years. You accept that money, and we come to terms with accepting what we're doing here, accepting the money and being like, yeah, he's just rich from starting this plastic water bottle company. Yeah, I just want to keep my cafe going. We're perpetuating the machine. We are the machine. We decide how we want to roll it. And we have the internet. Social media is a fucking machine that's wanting money from us. We got to be careful that we don't fully listen or use follow it. But we should come up with our own platforms to communicate correctly for things we want to do in our communities. We could even just fucking make our own currency, value it on things that we think are valuable. People who repair cars, yeah. People who help people, yeah. People who, not based on doctors get a shitload of money because doctors are the authority figure that get the pharmaceutical companies slinging their pills across, and you need his yes or no, and he's taught what pills are good for you to take to keep you on an ever-going cycle of needing that shit, and he gets the most money based on he was funded in the first place. Fucking shit.
Well, and I'd like to go back to that first point you made about watching my live streams and seeing that it was a peaceful protest. And I want to play devil's advocate again with this. A lot of people are saying it's not a peaceful protest because there was horns and there was loud partying and stereo equipment and all this stuff. And fair enough. You could use that as firepower to say that this wasn't a peaceful protest. It was loud and it affected locals. But here's another thing I want to say. The only locals that we heard from was on the mainstream media that were like, I can't sleep, the horns are loud, it's psychological warfare. There's people to this very day saying they hear phantom honks. They've suffered PTSD and they still hear the honks. And if that's what they're suffering through, I'm sorry for them, but the thing is, no one ever showed the Ottawa residents that all live down in that area, which I showed on my live streams, that were like, dude, I love the horns. I love that sound, and I'll sleep right through them. Some people can't sleep through them. Depends what your mindset is going into it, really. But as far as other protests we've seen that we've supported, and Trudeau has supported, like Black Lives Matter, who's made a lot of noise, burnt a lot of things down, destroyed statues, and done things like that, this protest was something else. It was a very inclusive movement. Yes, it was loud, but you do live in the capital of Ontario, or in the capital of the country, and we brought it to your front door. And you might say, oh, we can't sleep for weeks. Dude, some of us haven't slept for years. We've been awake, and it's about time you wake up. It's about, maybe the horns of freedom got to wake you up. Maybe you got to wake up and hear it. And you know what? Maybe you might hate us more now because of it. I don't know. But what I do know is that we've suffered for years, and we've watched families be destroyed. We've watched alcoholism climb. The stats on alcoholism, they're out, and they're bad. Suicide, they're out, they're bad. Domestic abuse, they're out, they're bad. Homelessness, they're out, they're bad. There's a lot of bad shit. And you know, if we got to start and kick the wheels of democracy rolling away from the left and more towards the right, or get them more centralized again, and it's got to take some honking in the streets of our capital, you know what? And here's another thing I'd like to make a point on, which no one's talking about. And as far as I understand, I'm the only one who's brought up this point so far. Every trucker, including the ones that I was in cahoots with and I was good friends with, I watched them go through complete mental fatigue. You got to realize, these guys left their families, they left their homes, they drove across the country. They spent over $3,000 in fuel one way, and they're not spend $3,000 in fuel back the other way. They drove across, they've spent thousands of dollars in other means just to be here, and their businesses, their transport companies have all suffered. They've lost a lot. I would say on average, the average truck that was parked out here cost at least $20,000 to $30,000 to be here for 3 weeks. So not only that, but those guys in those cabs, those trucks, every time they tried to sleep, guess what? They were down in the front lines, where 500 semis at any given time occupied the streets in chains and by block by block. None of those guys slept for 3 weeks either. You got to ask yourself the question, why did those guys put themselves through such mental fatigue, not sleeping either, and sitting there and revving their engines and honking the horns? None of those guys slept. A friend that I made on this trip actually turned on me in the end because his mental health declined so quickly from putting himself through all this shit, and many other truckers. People became very volatile towards the end of this as far as, you know, how they were handling certain... A lot of them, most of them, their morale stayed very high. They're very inspired. But I watched some guys, they were very depressed. They were very beaten down. So the people who are in the rooms that are complaining in the apartments around, I haven't slept for weeks. Neither of the guys down there. Why are they here? You know, Gerald Butts, one of Trudeau's right-hand men, he said, the fact that the Trudeau flags are in this city is a disgrace to our Prime Minister. Well, Gerald Butts, I press you to ask the question yourself, what led us to this point? What led us to flying these flags in this city? And I would actually start to maybe understand the idea that the Prime Minister of this country is more of a disgrace to this country than the signs and the flags flying his name on them. I would say that what he's done to us in his divisive tactics is a much more of a disgrace to our democracy and to our civil liberties than any horn honking, than any fuck Trudeau flag that was flown in that city. So that's my piece on that. Trying to play devil's advocate here. I try to understand everyone's point of view, but you know, these people they're just going down a biased road. Just hey, it's all about me, and that's what this thing's been about. It's all about me and my ideas. You guys don't matter. If you don't get the facts, if you don't listen to us, if you don't just suppress, lock yourself into the basement and go on a straight up Cheeto diet, you know, some of these people are like, hey, you should care about my health, and they're sitting there in the basement living off potato chips and shit. And maybe they're living off potato chips and shit because 62% of Canadians right now are struggling to feed their families because of this whole supply chain issue. Then the lie that the firing of these truckers, these unvaccinated, that were only the small fringe minority, the 10% or whatever they were saying. Maybe the reason that the cost of foods is up so high and the supply chain is suffering so much is because we did can those guys while we were already going through detrimental supply chain issues. So now,
Canadians can't afford to feed their families. Gas is on the rise, and with the sanctions on Russia, right now we're about to see fuel go from what it's been average of $1.50 to $1.60 a liter on average across the country for regular petrol. We're about to see that go up to $2 to $2.50 a liter. So shit's going to get worse. And all we can hope is that this movement has really lit the fire, you know, and it has. It's worldwide. But I can't imagine where this would have went if we didn't show up here and knock on all the doors of tyranny, open them up, and expose what was behind those doors. I can only imagine where we'd be going in the end game of this. But I truly believe what we've done the last month, we've literally taken the dial of history and we've pivoted. We've pivoted history. We've pivoted history in the right direction. That's what I truly believe. That's my message, my idea behind it.
Whatever door we opened as well, they haven't showed us everything behind it. For sure. We knocked at the door of tyranny, and they're not even showing what's behind it because it's fucking filthy. They're hiding it, and they're pushing it so hard they will shut down you, they will shut down others. It is obvious that they're doing that. They will not tell us the truth. They will actually hear the truth and push it the negative direction. Push it really fucking hard. It's disgusting. And what the biggest lessons I can think of from this, and the only way to have like a really great, like with gas prices rising and wanting things to be coming from other people, look at yourself and treat others really good. Look them in the eyes and listen and not stand for bullshit. Like, it just doesn't fucking make sense. The germ, the disease, the virus that causes a disease is smaller than a fucking mask. It flies through when it goes through the air. That's just it. You fucking touch a door handle, that's someone that touched it, and you touch your fucking mask to put it up, you're done. Throw out the mask. You're being a fucking idiot.
Listen to this. What I see the most of is I see people reaching into their pockets and grabbing their mask. Most people don't wear the cheap throwaway medical masks. I mean, a lot of people do, and maybe they change them out every day. But I also see a lot of people taking that mask out of their pocket, grabbing it off the mirror of their car, grabbing it off a filthy dash. But I see masks that are just black, that were white, because they're so dirty, and people are wearing them. And then another statistic that no one ever talks about is the fact that now people have these masks, they have a false sense of security. So now they're always adjusting the mask and stuff. Now, I'm fine. They touch things and they touch their mask, they're adjusting it. Now, if they have the virus on their hand, it's getting in their eyes. They're putting it on the mask, and they reuse the mask. And whether or not you exchange your mask every day, you're moving it, you're putting your hands around your face, and, dude, why are we not talking about that?
That was the first stuff, dude. It's 2 years ago, and that was me, where I'm going to catch myself and be like, I didn't fucking speak up enough, and I didn't cause enough of an uproar. I did just think I would just say it's fucking stupid, but I wouldn't explain, and I wouldn't catch people, or I wouldn't catch myself and catch people and be like, hey, you just made that mask useless. Like, tell me you didn't. And like, it's like, well, they're going to get mad at me. It's like, dude, they're fucking lying to you. They're forcing one side of one thing. The goddamn thing's not going to work. Speak up. Be truthful in your community. We need to supply ourselves. We can't look to people to supply for us because they're going to supply for themselves first. It's natural for humans to do this. It's natural for people to do what works for them. I'm on my side with, it's barely a side. I actually want people to be well. I'm on my opinion on things because I energetically don't feel like having a vaccine. I've been sick with an infection, if the tests are even right, and have natural immunity, and I would like to be that way, and I would like to die that way, and I actually think I will outlive people that way. And let it be. Let me be, let me do that. And we have enough space that we can separate people. If you want to protect yourself, understand how it moves, and then keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe. I would actually say a mask isn't the way to go. And if anything, a really super good mask, like a military grade one, sure, that'd be good. But I don't think this is the time yet. I don't think that this virus is as bad as others that will come. Maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe because they're going to upgrade it and they're going to make it real bad and they're going to try to make everybody use Uber Eats, everybody eat at the biggest chains. We're going to shut down every small business because when we do that, we make the macro businesses, which actually fuel the law system, make more money, like the McDonald's, like the Walmarts, like the massive chains that never fucking shut for a goddamn day. They been wide open, capitalizing, keeping it going. Keep that shit going. Keep this stuff coming from China. Let's ship all of our natural resources over to China. And let's make ourselves fucking retarded by simply mining all day and not even building something. So that when we finish work, we purchase the thing that China made cheaply for us, and they learn all the skills of how to make everything for us as they make the rest of the world super fucking stupid. So then we're here giving them everything that we have to make our land shitty, to make our land. I don't even want to say our land. I want to say we share this world and we're making a populace of people really stupid by doing monogamous, single-minded things, shipping materials, natural resources to another place for them to build everything, for us to rebuy it at commercial brand stores, making ourselves stupid, losing our wealth, not actually taking care of ourselves. We have more natural resources than so many people on the planet. I know it's hard to back up, to push against the massive laws and system and what it seems like is going to come at you. But the most powerful is all of us together working towards what we want and fighting for that. And when we die doing that, you won't be living a total lie.
You know, two things that I still can't believe a lot of these people aren't even talking about is one of the biggest problems we've had, the one they've played on, is the ICU bed capacity of the hospitals. Now, we have done nothing to increase that. And the nurses that were the frontline workers through not only the Alpha wave, the Delta wave, and now the Omicron, we are firing them for their vaccination choice, even though they were fine before. Even though they could work and be fine before, now we're like, no, you're not good, you're spreading it, and you're in the hospital, even though we know vaccinated people spread it, but it's this much less worse, whatever. We fired them, and we actually compromised the healthcare system that much more by firing all these nurses. But there's no talk of increasing. Only Alberta, so far from what I've seen, has actually built another super hospital to deal with the future waves that are coming and the future viruses that we're going to see, which we're most definitely going to see. And you know why we're going to see them? Because we're not dealing with the problem, and that's China. And we're not dealing with China. We're just like, oh yeah, let them. And it doesn't matter where you believe it came from. I personally believe it came from a lab. I believe it was a leak. There's more than enough evidence showing that. And of course, politicians have talked about it. They've kind of brought it up now, but they're still like, let's not talk about that too much. And in the beginning, you were racist to say that or whatever they were saying. It was crazy. But whether or not you believe it came from the lab, it came from a wet market, it came from a bat cave, it didn't come from a bat cave. This thing is mutated so aggressively. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The fact that we are not dealing with China, and we're not even talking about how we could deal with China to prevent this, because they are massively populated. They are massively... they're a massive propaganda spinning communist party who really their end goal is world dominance. We're not talking about how to deal with them, where these viruses are coming from. So we're just going to keep living this bullshit. We're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to keep living it. Don't care about the healthcare system. Don't do this. Let's take the easy way out. Everyone just wear a mask and do what the government says. Detrimental to our future. To the children that are going to grow up in this world, they're never going to know the freedoms we know. You know what Ronald Reagan said? Ronald Reagan said we're always only one generation away from losing our freedoms. Our grandchildren will wake up one day and not know. They'll hear. I'm paraphrasing, but they'll wake up in a world where they will never know the freedoms that we had. Because there's always someone trying to push that narrative forward, trying to push their tyrannical or their communist agenda forward. And no one, like I said, it's easier to just put on a mask and get a shot than it is to talk about the shit that we actually have to do. Like standing up to China, to getting our dependency out of China, bringing manufacturing back to North America, and, increasing our healthcare capacity, because before this virus happened,
before this was a thing, the healthcare system has always been strained. It's always been teeter-tottering. But then the virus just took it over the edge. So let's start talking about that stuff. You know, and Alberta's doing the right thing. They're building these super hospitals, and they're going to increase the healthcare capacity. Hire more nurses, train more people, make more incentive. Let's rebuild the economy. Let's quit destroying people's lives. This deficit that we're in right now, that Trudeau says that it will balance itself, another one of his many lies. Oh my goodness. And to go back on Trudeau, like, it's just, I can't even fathom the amount of things he's done and lied about and just never been held accountable for. The We Charity scandal, you know, the sexual assault allegations, the blackface, all the stuff that he's done, like, the corrupt shit he's been involved in is like, how?
Too big of a structure. Too big. We gotta, like, we can't go back and judge him for doing blackface, man. That's fucking bullshit. People make mistakes. That was prior to all this, man. You seen Seinfeld? They're fucking racist in that show.
Yeah, but never have I ever thought it'd be a good Halloween costume to paint my face black.
I've fucking considered it. I've made myself ginger. I don't know. I haven't put my face black, but dude,
and
other people have.
I actually do. I do kind of agree with that point because it is from his past, and we talk about this cancel culture stuff. So,
dude,
I do
watch
kind of
Seinfeld. Should we destroy Seinfeld as a show? Because in the 90s when they created it, it's fucking racist, shitty, mean, call people idiots, bastards, dumb, retarded, mental issue people.
True.
Super sexist.
And I thought about this before. Like, I think the reason we cling on to the blackface thing is because he comes at us and calls us racist, and we're like, we're not. But then again, we bring up this other thing from his past, and we're like, fuck you, you did this. And it's a quick, easy fuck you thing.
Do that. Don't let him go under your skin. We're peaceful. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to continue to do the right thing. I would rather die doing the right thing than sell out. And then, obviously, it's going to come back because nothing leaves this earth. Now, without getting more respirators or hospitals, let's talk about being well mentally and physically. Because ain't shit gonna get you if you're fucking physically and mentally well.
That health matters just as much.
The only thing is, like, the poor guy who wants to take advantage of someone is just, like, not being heard or, like, not being respected or, like, not being fucking treated nice because people are... we have past fucking traumas, too. Like, this whole thing's so goddamn complicated. People from World War II, my grandpa passing it down to my dad and then passing it down to me in ways of how they taught me how to think. And then I'm 100%. Just passing this stuff on, which I don't even realize. We're biased to one side. We're these open kind of people, which changes. We are a side, but I would like to be adaptive, and I would like to be ready to say, I don't know, because we don't know how it's going to shape. And I don't know now is going to continue not building walls in my mind. So then I say that, fuck, dude, my wall is red and yours is blue. That's bullshit. Or, like, it needs to be red. We just say, I don't know. And we roll and we try our best. And we don't let other people that do something different change that, or we don't tell them not to, because Darwinism and whoever actually has the best idea is gonna survive. It's just gonna be how it is. I'm not gonna throw a rock at that person. I'm not gonna judge them. There's enough room for us. Get ready to be shocked. Fucking hold time, just like your buddy said. Let's listen to each other. I don't know what we're gonna do about China, but I know what we can do is every single time we fucking think about buying something on Amazon, going to Walmart, like, we power the machine. We use the dollar. We value something. Rather than, like, we use this dollar that boys go fucking drill oil, whatever. We need some oil. We need some gas. Gas is fun right now. We may never run out. We may not have a climate issue because we'll just, like, plant enough trees in the right amount of time or whatever. But when we use those dollars and to get a cookie, why don't we just, like... fix that lady's car to get that cookie, or like, or start planning within our communities, in our areas, how the fuck we're gonna actually make that area profitable to us, rather than looking to other places and being like, yeah, we're gonna fuck this planet. But that's cool because we're looking out to Mars. We'll get there. No worries. And then, like, when the fuck is that going to end? We figure out how to bring what we need to it. Like, it was already here. We took it. We fucked up. We didn't know how it was going to go. Now we know with the trend. We're in the trend. Now people want to keep that trend going. We're trying to resist that. And god damn, is it easy to just, like, fill up that truck, baby. Head on down to work. Consume some of that sugar. Keep it going. Pull an all-nighter. Yeah, greased in 1200 tonight. Fuck yeah. All right, just 2 more of those and I get to go to Mexico. No problem. All right. We might wrap this up. And by might, I mean, what could you...
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. You did what you did. Went across Canada. Good idea. I think it's pushing and has taught a lot of people. You're going to continue to peacefully protest, hopefully bringing more news. As more people talk, I've been sharing more. And I think more people are getting a hold of real information or another angle. Maybe crying in their homes, realizing they've been living or been fed an entire lie. And when you've been fed a lie, man, you just grow into one and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? It hurts. And then you cry. Swallow it. Feel it. Move on. And try to teach others and let them go through it. Don't not eat the things you need to eat and do and keep it going. Don't hate on the truckers. The majority of them are good. And I don't have broad standing answers for all this. I'm really glad you're doing what you're doing. I'm glad you are where you are. And mentally speaking, I hope some balance comes to you where you are. Life's forever changing where I'm at and where you're at. And we'll run into each other again. And I'm not going to try to burn any bridges. And I'm going to try to think that obviously, it's better to do things that are less consuming than more consuming because, well, someone else can consume more later, or we can just, like, keep it going and good times will last a little longer.
Life's good.
Life's good. It's a good time. Defying and finding truth. You found so much truth. You're so fucking resonating like wellness. And it's so funny how the opposite side just like makes themselves look bad. It's just classic school. Like someone's lying. I didn't piss my pants. You fucking pissed, man. But it's actually worse than that. You're claiming that other people did. And they didn't. There's video. Everyone's got clean pants. And you're saying that they did on video. That's more what's going on. You're a lying piece of shit. Why are you trying to do that? You're trying to make this guy look bad. And then just time just keeps passing. And it's like, dude, this isn't going to work like this. That's stupid. And why am I buying this China shit anyway? It's so fucking cheap. And I don't even know how to feed myself. I don't even know how to make toilet paper because apparently that's going to run out when I get Omicron.
Yeah.
I gotta pee so bad again. I'll be right back.
Me too.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Let's talk about the news right now and what you know, what differences you see going on. Or like, what are they doing to you? Or what are they doing to Canada right now? They, as in laws and people who are just complying and thinking they're doing the right thing. You might be, but listen to this. Like, are you getting, is your bank seized?
No, mine, with the people who got their banks seized, which are now all released because the Emergencies Act is over, and that was a complete violation on their civil liberties, which Trudeau lied when he said, oh no, this is geographically targeted, and it will not infringe on anybody's civil liberties, which it did. It really did. And what I see is going on right now, and a lot of people see this. And if you don't see it, I don't know how you don't see it. But what they want is they want this to all turn into a
basically a social credit system, just like China, a digital ID. The vaccine passports, they love that shit. They love that everyone's got a vaccine passport and you can track them. Like, for example, in the holidays, they were exposed for monitoring everybody's cell phone locations and apparently not personally ID'd, but through the cell phone tower locations to see where people were traveling through the holidays. They're leaving their home and interprovincially traveling or traveling to other countries. I think maybe it was just within Canada. Anyways, they said, no, don't worry. That we're just doing that for future pandemic planning, like just to know what people do if they fall in line and they pay attention and they actually stay home for Christmas. Basically, what they're saying is, we want to know how resistant people are to this shit, so we can figure out a way to implement more draconian measures. So this all is terrifying, but it leads to a social credit score system where and currencies where you no longer have a say over what your money is. You know, and maybe this is their response to cryptocurrencies. It would seem that way, that this is their response to dealing with decentralized.
No, but they're also headed towards universal family income.
Well, yeah, this is this Bill S thing, this universal basic income that they're trying to pass right now. It's in Senate right now, and we're going down this road of a social credit score system, and people in China, like, I've never talked to people in China, but it would seem like some of them are like, yeah, I don't do anything illegal, I don't do anything wrong, I don't care. It's not the point. They're taking away your freedoms. They're literally making it so it's like, if you want to go buy a loaf of bread, and they say, oh, no, you don't need a loaf of bread, you need eggs. That won't work for a loaf of bread. It will work for some eggs. And you should maybe eat some Kraft dinner this month. They can control literally what you buy through this currency by having this digital ID. And this would seem to be this is where most governments are going, if not all of them. They want everyone to be on a digital ID. I mean, and you can look into this Klaus Schwab shit. You can look into this, the World Economic Forum?
Yeah.
And you can see the politicians that are on it, and you can see Klaus Schwab himself talking about how he's basically infiltrated the Canadian institutions or into the government, and they're basically falling in line with this shit. And it's what's happening. Trudeau used this emergency act to infiltrate people's personal information, get in their bank accounts, and they're trying to keep the powers from this emergency act. They're saying going forward, they will not relinquish those powers from the emergency act to be able to access your bank account, to be able to freeze your bank account and control the banks. Oh man, this is about so much more than mandates and vaccines and a bunch of racist truckers. And the people that can't see it, that's possibly the most terrifying part. But what I truly believe is that because of this movement, because where we're going, this Great Reset shit that was only a conspiracy a year ago is now going to be the Great Awakening. It is the Great Awakening. And I'll be optimistic, like you and I have chatted in the past about the state of our planet and the state of our
humans,
the emissions that humans and our impact on this planet. It's undeniable. And you know what? Within that, there's a lot of it that's over exaggerated. There's a lot of politicians that are seriously profiting off it, and the carbon tax and all that bullshit. Not actually dealing with the problem, but politicizing it and making it probably worse. Wow. Yeah. It's dude. Wow.
I just want to have fun, man. I want to be allowed to have fun. And the fact that my father, who like apparently owns land, which is another story in itself, like we just have relationships and everything's temporary, and then people make money off the taxes of him owning land. And those people who put those laws in, and the people who put the laws in say you can't use those trees on your property to make a house. That's not allowed. You need to go through a lumber mill, and then you need to repurchase that. I don't know exactly all the rules on that, and you got to build everything to our codes. You got to make sure you tell us how you're building it.
Well, here's the thing. What we're taught, you just said you don't know all the stuff to it, and a lot of us don't. You know why? Because before we realized there was one side trying to pull us astray, these false prophets trying to pull us astray, before we realized that was happening, we were just trying to have fun and live our lives. We're like, yeah, the government knows what they're doing. Let them handle it. That's why they're there, and we'll vote who we think is right, whatever. But we don't know everything. But now, because of this movement, would you not agree that politics has become that much more interesting for so many more people? Now people are paying attention. They're like, what's actually going on? What is this? Why is this person saying this? And now we're all interested in it. Now we want to educate ourselves so we can make the proper decisions going forward.
I bet you tax rate gone through friggin' improve.
Yeah.
New fucking
And nobody wants
politicians.
to see
New
that
politicians that like actually want to fucking serve us.
They work for us, and you know what? We've seen this is the coolest
They
thing
don't
from this
work for
movement.
us right now. We need that.
No, but we watched Candace Bergen and we watched the Conservatives starting to work for us and acknowledge us. And where were they all these years? You can ask that question. Fuck. But honestly, now seeing them fight for us and seeing them go in there and the Conservatives lashing back, and we got the PPC and stuff, no matter what you believe in, who you support, you have to admit that we have started turning the wheels of democracy. And I don't trust some of these politicians. I don't trust the people on the Conservative side because they all have motives. They've all, some people don't trust Pierre Poilievre because they say he's on the World Economic Forum. I haven't personally looked into that myself, so I can't say. In my current knowledge, if he just announced from the beginning of this. So from the beginning of this, what we did was Aaron O'Toole's gone. Aaron O'Toole is not a Conservative, and he was leading them astray and bringing the Conservative Party way more liberal. Now we're gone. One of the first days we were here, Aaron O'Toole was ousted. And now Pierre Poilievre is running for Prime Minister, which he said he would never do. And it just so happens Pierre has been the only Conservative politician that has literally grilled Trudeau and stood up and said, hey, what are you guys doing this for? How about Mr. Trudeau's money to his wife and his mom and all this through the Wee scandal and all this? Like, what is up with this, he's been calling people. He called out Bill Morneau for his $40,000 expense for his vacation that was unaccounted for. And he called him out. He says most Canadians, if they went on a vacation, would notice a $400 charge in their credit card. And they would deal with it right away. But this is a $40,000 taxpayer-funded charge. And you're just pretending it doesn't happen. And it just so happens the day that you're about to be tried for this, and it's about to come up, you've paid that. He says, is that a coincidence, Mr. Monroe? And this is what Pierre has been doing for years. So some people were like, I don't trust Pierre. He could be the next Hitler. He could be he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. But who knows? I would rather know the devil in power than the new guy coming in. And you know what? I don't know. It's really hard to try to work around this stuff because we're all learning. We're all trying to figure out what's going on. But what I've seen, this movement has literally got the Conservatives moving and lashing out in the House of Commons with huge roars, which is what they do in the House of Commons. It's a cheering festival. Yeah! Fuck the Liberals.
They fucking lash, though, too, eh? It's just like, bring down the other side rather than, like, call people out to make them learn. What if they just join fucking sides? Oh, there's not enough money for them both? Like, the fucking money is bullshit. It's all made up. We have enough resources here to figure this out. We have enough resources. We make scarcity to make money, to then you accept it. I accept it. I'm like, yeah, that guy, like, the people down here who take my money, they have the fucking power. I'm not from here. They're just like under some massive spell. It's the world we live in, and it's very deep rooted in us. Like, if they didn't feed me, I would die. Because I have this money. Apparently, I have way more than them, too. I get paid more than them, apparently. If they didn't feed me,
you know what?
I'd be fucking dead.
The most fun I've had in my life, the cheapest months I've been on the road and living have always been the most fun. Living in my van in the forests of BC. Now that I'm in this motorhome here, living here, this is now very affordable and very cheap to live this way. And it's just so happens to be the most fun, freeing way to live. There's very minimal responsibilities to be doing the life I'm doing right now. Other than live streaming and having these conversations, which I think we owe our country right now. I think people just get caught up in like, oh, I want to have the newer house because my neighbor bought a big house and I got this new truck and I want to get by. And then other people are living in fear because the cost of living is going up and now they're stuck in this vicious system where they've overfinanced themselves, over-leveraged themselves. And yeah, it's a system that we've been pushed on from the baby boomer era where it was okay before. You could support a family on one income. My family did for many years. But now it's at the point where you literally, if you're not working around the clock, you're going down. So there's a lot of fear and a lot of pressure on people. Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure on people to conform. More than there ever has been in this baby boomer era on, right?
It has to fail.
Really bad.
It has to fail. And
everyone needs to go live in Mexico.
Maybe. The intentions on what people think people owe people is bullshit. Like, there's empty houses. There's enough here. There always been the same amount. If not, we're a little less. But then when we say, hey man, no, like rent's $900 for that room. It's like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I just paint, and I love painting, and I paint people's houses, and I do it professionally all fucking week, and I make this much money, and like I just don't have that $900. Like, how can that possibly be? Well, I need that 900 for this, inflation, etc., etc. It's just getting overwhelming. Oh, Tanner, are we gonna podcast again? So how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, I think we should.
I wonder. I think we're gonna be able to think about what we brought up this time and what we missed, and relevant to the new times that are going on too. I think that's gonna be amazing. I hope that my editing's smooth, and that by that I mean the audio. Tanner, thanks, buddy. I fucking love you for being on here.
I love you.
And being
I
around.
love you.
I have actually had a
Love
longing
you.
to be around you and around the people of Canada, and I wonder what on earth I'm doing down here. And I felt like I knew this bullshit was coming, and I don't want to support. Like, I don't want to fucking rather give Mexico all my Canadian lager money, oil money, the Canadian dollar, and it's like, yeah, give me. I'm like, dude, it's not gonna make you happy, dude. These tacos and avocados growing, and we fucking ship this food up to my country. Somehow, you think we got it going on, and you want to go up there? Like, grass is always greener, and life's gonna be fine. We'll figure the environmental stuff out. But we gotta stay commune, and like exactly when they want to shut you down, that's probably means like go home and stay apart. And even that, like, don't let them see your smiling face, wear a mask, or change your DNA to everyone else's to have these things inside of you with a vaccine. Yeah, man, biodiversity. Let's go.
The mask thing to me is terrifying. And I'll play devil's advocate again. People say, people from China, I've heard a few articles where they're like, hey, when I was a kid, we always wore our mask. It was just a thing. You always did it for your fellow man. But the thing is, if you look at what we are and where we come from and our ancestors, we've never hid our faces. We were always very much like communicating through the mouth and the expressions of our face. And that's what we're built on. So to do this unnatural thing to hide our faces from each other, and not just the adults, we've lived our lives. We know what we look like, and it's less detrimental to us, but the children, man. The children that are in school and they're doing this, it's not good for them. Now, if it's good for the government, it's good for a social credit score system, it's good for just a faceless stormtrooper society of people just doing their thing and helping build their economy and just plunking people here and there and just not having much value and dehumanizing them, which is what this liberal government here and most governments are trying to do right now. It's good for them, but it's not good for us as finite beings. It most certainly is not. It's the farthest thing from it. And we must acknowledge that and put that into our statistics as well.
The what are you guys called? The something minority?
The fringe minority.
Yeah,
Proud member of a fringe minority.
Hey, buddy.
But he who smelt it dealt it. The liberal government and their extreme tactics by invoking the Emergency Act, then all the supporters driving around flipping us off, calling us names, really actually being very extreme. I wouldn't call them extremist, actually. I have in the past, just out of, like, emotions. I don't think people know what extremism is. I don't think people know what real terrorism is. I'll tell you, Islam, all that shit, the terrorism, 9/11, that is terrorism. That is extremism. Do not normalize those words, and do not normalize the invoking of the Emergency Act over horns and bouncy castles. Do not, because there's a much scarier world out there, and wow, yeah, just like
if you guys were doing the wrong thing, I think the rest of everyone else would have stopped you, rather than the few people who couldn't sleep and were like scared to go through the streets. The rest of us would have been like, hey guys, like, what the hell are you doing? No. People line the roads. People line the bridges. People in every community. People around the world.
People who showed up. The people who showed up. They didn't just hide and say, we're scared.
They're not, because you guys weren't wrong. You guys, it didn't need to be stopped. And the police don't do anything until they're highly, highly funded and they have enough numbers to feel not scared because they're doing the wrong thing. It doesn't
Well,
feel
even then.
right, like, to do the wrong thing, and you can't, 1 to 5 guys could go in front of the Capitol and, like, have a hunger strike. 5 cops would be scared shitless. It doesn't make sense until they get 1,000 cops, then they're like, okay, yeah, we're doing the right thing. For sure.
Here's the thing that put the mayor of Ottawa, Jim Watts, and a lot of people into panic was when this thing happened and the cops supported us and they were going around. I personally knew of 2 female officers from the Ottawa Police Force. I won't say their names because they'll get fired. But they literally rented a hotel room for truckers to go and shower and sleep in to get away from the honking. I know other ones I've had chats with that came up and shook our hands and said, wow, thanks for showing up. You know what? Peter Slowly, the ex-police chief now, he was going on. He's like, I know nothing about this stuff. If that's going on, we do not accept it. Blah, 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 and this and that. And you know what? A lot of police also, there's a lot that resigned over this whole thing from the Ottawa Police Force. And there was a bunch who took sick days and they took their holidays just so they didn't have to be in the streets and deal with it. Because they didn't want to lash out on people. Which is why they had to bring in all these thugs from all over Canada that were just faceless stormtroopers. Faceless, wearing their masks, just faceless stormtroopers. And you know what? There's one and this is why I love George Lucas. This is why I love Star Wars. Because I'm aware of this shit. Because when I was a kid, George Lucas tried to tell us about politics. And how republics become empires. How tyrannical powers can just overthrow democracy with thunderous applaud. And that's the reality of it. George Lucas tried to teach kids that when they were young with the prequel trilogy. How politics work. Where they go if you do not keep shit in check. You know, it's wow. Faceless stormtroopers, man, just doing what their master says because you know what? They sold their soul, they sold their inner child for a paycheck, and they're paying that debt the rest of their life.
They scream loud when they die too, because hell, they've lived a life of a lie. And Jedis get to go and live in tranquility in between.
They get
the
to they get to hang out. They get to just be alive. And
thank you. We're done. I mean, thank you.
Thank you. And now let's end this with a shotgun, maybe.